This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life.
Welcome to Dead Radio.
We're not doing that.
How did she come to have sex with a dead man?
Don't call me Radio Unit 91.
You're a dead man. You're a dead man!
He's God here in this radio station.
Place where the dead speak.
Rebel Radio!
I'm a fake? Yes. How'd you like to be dead?
You ever think about doing radio?
My team is dead!
But you're not crazy. You're me. And this is just radio.
By the powers vested in me by the Federal Communications Commission, I command you to get on the microphone in a serious manner and continue this broadcast.
All right. We will get on the microphone. Why is my... Sounds weird. Hello. That's better. All right. Here we go. Still not sounding right.
How about me?
You sound wonderful. You always sound good on that
Check
thing.
one.
Your mic is always in good shape. Mine's that. See what it does?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a.
Is there any way to ever fix that?
Yeah, there we go. I'd have to take this whole thing apart and change out the pot.
All right.
It's just a shitty old pot. There it is. That's better. Nice and crisp.
What about me?
You're
good?
fine.
Yeah?
You are fine. Ah.
I have a really old radio I'd like you to take apart and fix for me.
This is the latest
I could probably do that. See? I'm already fucking shit
Yeah,
up.
it's like one of those smaller boom boxes that like a normal person would buy in the 90s. It only takes like 6 D batteries, not 14.
Uh-huh.
But the left speaker doesn't work.
Oh. Either the speaker's blown or the connection's
Yeah,
off.
well, it works if you like press the volume button down or shake it.
Oh, okay. So there's a loose connection somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably.
So that'd be a fun project.
Yeah. I'd
It's very old
love
school.
to
It's like
tinker.
It's like the dual. It's about this. It's about this wide. It's about this wide. You're not looking.
I'm listening.
But how are you going to know it's about this wide? Are you looking at the camera?
I'm getting yelled at by YouTube right now.
Why?
Go ahead. I don't know. Just go ahead. I'm listening.
So it's about this wide. It's about this tall. Yay thick. And it's got like a dual cassette deck, AM, FM. It's like a stereo, like something you would buy in the early 90s, maybe
Yeah,
in
the one
late
that you
80s.
let me borrow all the time.
Nope. No, this is a
different one.
handheld stereo with like a handle, pop-out antenna. It's like a boom box.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I got it from my grandfather's house. He probably bought it new at fucking Service Merchandise.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but it's cool looking.
I would like
it's
to
it's
look
like
at
that
It's got
that
like a wood,
late
like a
80s,
wood-
early 90s. No, like the faux stainless steel. It's actually aluminum. It's like brushed aluminum look. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
So
look
if
at
I could
it.
get it
Maybe
working,
I'll get it working. It'll
I,
be worth $1 million.
Well, I turned it on and it kind of worked, and then the batteries just went like because it had a bunch of D batteries that were probably 15 years old in it. And funny enough, the power supply from Tanner's drone was the exact right size. Because it's just a cord.
Yeah.
It's like the little double connector.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Piece
It's
of
not like a power supply.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a cord.
Yeah, those
Plug
are hard
it
to
right
come
in.
by.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're like keyed, so they only fit the right thing. This is boring.
Well, I could easily make something. It wouldn't be that hard.
The
Just build it out of an
Moss
extension cord.
Spectacular snuck up on us this year, it feels like.
Yeah, we realized 2 days ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
What a clusterfuck this show is. But I
Yeah.
mean, that's just part of the
Well, I've been having trouble getting guests anyway. So we had a guest, and then they canceled, and then I called everyone that's ever been on the show pretty much. But it was very last minute. Like, there were some people that I was talking to about it 1 hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
So next month should be packed because everybody's interested in coming on. They're just like, I can't tonight. So, yeah.
Well, so we decided to empty the liquor cabinet, pretty much. I'm drinking what's the E&J brandy. I don't know how we got this why we got this on the show. I can't remember for what reason.
That seems
down
like
memory lane. I feel like this is leftover from Punch or
Maybe.
something that Brooke might have made, like
Maybe.
something with Brandy, and this was the leftover. That makes sense to me.
There's a couple guests that I could see bringing that.
Yeah.
Like Francis Dean or something.
Yeah. I would like if I knew Frank. If Frank drank, I would imagine he'd drink brandy.
Yeah, but it'd be more expensive than that.
Yeah. Well, he's young. He doesn't know good brandy. And we got some old granddad. Some what is it? The oh god, Still the One distillery.
You're still the one
And we have the Sky Vodka.
Which I have no idea who brought that either.
It wasn't Nick. Was it Nick? Nick from RV.
Could be.
Nick Kessler, because he brought
Yeah.
that and the Bloody. I think he brought that and the Bloody
yeah,
Mary
we were making
mix.
Bloody Marys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that, and we also have some Magnog.
Which I already finished mine.
You already finished yours. Yeah, I mixed mine with brandy, and I'm sipping it like a gentleman. You brought your sangria. Can I have some of that too in there? I like to mix the cream and the wine together in my stomach. So
yeah. So the next day, I pretty much I
effervescent.
pretty much went out to. So I made I had a party on Saturday. Let's back it up. So I had a party on Saturday.
It was great.
And I was gonna get a keg, but I was like, there's gonna be a lot of people that are either gluten free or don't drink beer.
Yeah.
So I was like, I could much more cheaply do a sangria.
Yeah.
So I did a red holiday sangria, which is 2 parts red wine, 1 part white wine, a bunch of fall kind of wintry flavors like cinnamon and clove and pretty much anything you'd put in a mulled wine. Some apple cider, Laird's Applejack, and some spiced rum, which I believe was Sailor Jerry. And then I put all of that in a keg, made about 3 gallons of this stuff, and we drank all of it. Everyone drank all of it. There's literally what's in that bottle is all that was left.
Yeah, it was like a liter. How big is that bottle? A liter? Something
Yeah,
like that?
so half liter.
Yeah.
It was like 16 to 20 ounces left. You all right?
I'm sorry. Brooke's playing classical music at fucking full volume upstairs. And I keep hearing. I thought I was having a stroke. I heard piano music in the back of my head, but it's just upstairs. It's fine.
And maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
Yeah.
It came out great. I liked it a lot.
I think it's even better today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's got a little sparkle to it now.
Yeah, I also hit it with. So I kegged it at home.
Woo! That's
and
really good.
Yeah, I hit it with.
It
about
almost tastes like
30
Hawaiian Punch now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It almost
I haven't
tastes
had
like
Hawaiian Punch in a long time.
It almost tastes like a kid's fruit punch.
Yeah, but this is alcohol mixed with alcohol with a little apple cider, so it's it'll mess you up.
Oh yeah, okay. So you did put cider. Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to I'm trying to figure out some this.
What is YouTube doing?
YouTube's barking at me for some fucking thing. The audio stream's current bit rate. I don't understand. All the settings, none of the settings have changed. So now I'm like, I'm nervous.
I'm raising my hand to see if we're still streaming.
Yeah. Oh, we're still streaming. We're just on a delay. I'd be curious if we have audio though.
Maybe we could check.
I want to see now. I'll get that fucking that repeating thing. All the settings.
Yeah, we've got audio.
All right, so maybe it's just angry at me for no reason.
And I just raised my hand, so we're only about 8 seconds behind.
Yeah. The reason why we're having worried about technical issues because I finally got that shit working, the YouTube live stream.
Yeah, last week we had no live show.
No live show. We just had download only, yeah, now we're back to single camera, which is classic Dead Radio view.
Yeah, it looks a lot better than the original show, though.
Yeah, well, it's in a way different position than it used to be. So,
I think it works fine.
Yeah, it'll work for now.
Nobody's fucking watching this.
Yeah, well, some people are. It's weird. So, you get. It's mostly like Adam and Nick Magro and the Magros. Now they're firing off quotes to me at your party and stuff like that from the show, and I'm like, I don't know what you're fucking talking about. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I still listen to every one of them, but I'm usually about 3 weeks behind at this point.
I just don't have the I don't really have a ton of time to listen to them because I'm always doing something like, I don't know. I just like, I do the show. I don't need, like, I go back, I listen a little bit, and then
I listen just to like,
make sure it sounds okay.
Yeah, make sure it sounds okay, make sure it's not lacking, and like just stuff like, what the hell was that thing? We kept saying something, and I couldn't stop thinking about whatever it was.
Wow, I don't know.
Oh, God. It'll come to me.
What did it have to do with?
We kept saying a phrase, and all I could think about was something else.
Oh.
And I can't believe we didn't make the reference on the show. I got to re-listen to it.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I do know
told
what
you
you're
about
talking
it.
about. Yeah,
told you
Mike
about it.
Bleakley said it. Like, he quoted it, and we both looked at each other, and we were like, what the fuck? Like, you know. Whatever. What happened to him?
To me.
Did you talk to Mike?
No, we just had him on.
Yeah. Oh,
so,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was like, that was like less than a month ago.
Mm-hmm. It's tricky.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's that time of the year, of course. Hence the nog and the I don't know. Sangria is not quite. If you call it spice wine, holiday spice wine.
Yeah.
And then it fits the holiday.
It's a holiday sangria.
Yeah. What have you seen holidays, or the holiday around here? Is there anything? It's like it feels like.
Dude, we had the eggnog crawl not too long ago. How was that at the coffee shop?
That was fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up. I forgot about that to talk
Ours
about
was
that.
fine.
It was just like
people
came in, people were rushing in.
Mm-hmm.
It went right down Raymond Avenue. Nobody was expecting that. They thought they were going down Main Street or some shit, and I can't remember.
Why would they think that?
I don't know. But in the end, it was just like, oh yeah, this makes way more sense that they just went down Raymond Avenue. Mm-hmm. So of course, the Crafted Cup is on 44 Raymond Avenue. So we got to watch the shit go by, and it was nice. They had like not.
So
nice
you're talking
floats.
about the parade thingy.
Yeah, the parade thingy. Oh, the eggnog crawl too. I'll talk about that also. So the parade was that night. I think. Was it the same night?
Yeah, I got out of there just in fucking time.
It was the same night. People were coming in and they were like, it was just hot chocolate after hot chocolate. I must have made like 30 hot chocolates in the span of an hour and a half because people were coming in. But then people started coming in like late and they were trying to get out of there while I'm, fucking 10, 15 drinks deep on the on the board, and they're like, "Oh, the parade's starting. Those hot chocolates ready?" I kept getting that kind of shit from people, but that's what.
If you can't wait for it, go talk to the cashier. Yeah. They'll give you your fucking money back, and you can get the fuck out of here.
Pretty much. I mean, I was kind of cool about it, but I did snap at one lady because she was like the last set of drinks. She's just like, "Oh, I'm waiting on a hot chocolate." I'm like, "Yeah."
So are a lot of people.
Everybody was waiting on hot chocolates. Yours is the last one. And she was like, okay. And then she got really friendly. And that was fine. And then they had the parade, and that was nice. And I got the fuck out of there, which was kind of funny because the parade stopped to do like a performance piece somewhere. So I just and I just kind of cut through the parade to get to my car. That was kind of nice to do.
They were just blocking off. I was one of the last people to go through the roundabout.
Wow.
Before they blocked it off.
Oh, okay.
I got out of work at 4.
Yeah.
So
Well, you would have made your way back fine.
Yeah.
I haven't had any like.
I would have just went through Vassar campus or something to get home, but
it hasn't been like weird. Like I feel like the Black Friday things calmed down. The holidays are a little bit more calm, I think, because of the internet boom.
Yeah.
I was at the mall the other night. They needed some fucking help at the mall location of the Crafted Cup, and that place was packed to the fucking gills with people. I don't understand.
Why would you ever go there?
I don't get it.
Like I got a
lot of
big,
it was like just people hanging out.
I got a giant book of coupons from Dick's. Basically, like the whole fucking store is 50% off. And then it's like limit 12 boxes of ammunition per customer. And I was like, I mean, if I can get bullets for half off, like I should probably go.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'd rather pay double. I would rather pay the normal price than fucking go there.
Yeah, it's a little nutty. It's packed. Like people sitting on like the floor in the food court and stuff like that on their cell phones. Like it just
so stupid.
I don't know. Everybody's just it's chaos. It's still chaos, but it's a little bit more controlled. So there's no like nonsense
it used to
shit
be.
happening.
It used to be like you drive around for an hour looking for a parking spot.
Yeah,
at the Galleria.
It's way more controlled right now.
Like
But,
there were people that would take the bus, like park somewhere and then take the bus to the mall, just because you can't find a fucking parking spot.
Yeah.
No.
Oh
more.
yeah, like a shuttle. Yeah.
No, not even a shuttle. They would park at like.
Whoa,
What the fuck are you
God.
doing? No, they'd park at like Red Lobster. And take the fucking bus to the mall because it's only one stop. So they'd park at Red Lobster and then get on the loop bus, and it'd be like one stop down to the mall.
Pretty good idea.
Who the fuck told me? It was somebody that worked at Red Lobster that I knew way back when.
You don't have to be on public transportation for very long. That works out nicely.
Yeah, it costs you like $1.
But then you got to lug all your packages around on the bus and everything. People don't think about that shit. They're like, I'll take the bus. And then you come on with all your fucking shit and you got to take up a seat. For the normal, hardworking people who take the bus. That doesn't make sense.
No.
None of that.
No. the kind of people that are taking the bus to the mall in Poughkeepsie are not the hardworkingest people. There might be a few. But they're, for the most part, people in their 20s that for some reason still don't have a car.
That looks really bad.
Yeah.
It looks bad, tastes great.
Yeah, the Magnog tastes like melted ice cream. But, yeah, it kind of coats your glass nice.
Mm-hmm. It's good to have the sangria to kind of counterbalance the two.
Yeah, this is good. It came out sweeter than I wanted it to be, but I guess that's kind of good.
It really just tastes like a fruit punch. It doesn't taste like any alcohols in here.
Incredibly alcoholic. There's so much alcohol in there.
So how'd the rest of the party go? We left.
I don't remember.
Did it pretty much? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't
You were
remember.
that fucked up.
I remember Steve getting there.
Steve got there. Steve was supposed to come on the show tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really anxious to talk to him because he seems like a really nice fella, but also fucking crazy.
I was just hoping we were going to talk about, because he's a religious guy.
Yeah, I wanted to have like it
So,
would be the first
yeah, that
time
was
we had
kinda
somebody
be-
who's like
Yeah.
a Christian
Instead
on
of people that just agreed with us.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the idea. So I don't know why he couldn't make it, but he let me know yesterday. So it was
Right.
like a full 36 hours before he was going to be on. So it wasn't super last minute, but especially because I only asked him on fucking Friday.
Yeah.
No, I might have asked him on Saturday. So
I'm just looking at this thing that him and I were talking about. Well, he was mostly talking about. I was just kind of standing there staring at him.
Mhm.
It's the difference between 440 hertz and
he will not stop talking about
432
this.
hertz as a general tuning standard for musical pitch.
Yeah, he won't stop talking about it. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know any of those things.
Yeah, it's like
He hasn't really talked to me about it, but he's like accidentally texted me when he was like having a conversation with another person about it. And then I hear him talking about it with other musicians.
Yeah, like look, like he showed me. He was talking to me about pictures of like this shit right here. This, like water, put on a plate that is tuned for 440 hertz, and then they hit that 440 hertz, and it's just kind of like it almost looks like it's uniform, but it kind of faded, like choppy, like plate looking thing. This one looks more like geometric and more looks to the side. It's more complete and this and that. So he's like, all the most beautiful songs in the world. Do you listen to classical music? I'm like, nope. He's like, all the most beautiful songs in the world were tuned to 432. And like, I was waiting for the hook.
Can you define hertz real quick?
Hertz
Because
is like
I kind of know what it is. It's a frequency, right?
It's a measurement of sound frequency. Yeah.
Okay.
So like the lower the hertz, so 440 is like a bassier note than 1,000 hertz or 1K.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's more like. Well, that's
so
real low,
it's slower.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's slower.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's talking about it, and I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for the hook on this whole thing, but he never got to it. all he kept talking about was how amazing 432 was compared to 440 and all these like experiments they've done using the different frequencies and everything. And I was just like, okay, when do I get to the part where you're like, the aliens gave us this 432 number to create like
so this
like
is
a
just
system
this
to
is just
communicate with them
tuning.
across the
So
fucking...
if you hit like a fucking whatever note, a C note, it's going to be at 432 hertz.
It's
or is this something done in post or
no. I'm not even 100% clear on it. I've always just known that you the like you use that tone, that like a C. If you play a C, you use the frequency of that C at 440 hertz to tune it to C.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because there's also
and then if it's a fucking A or whatever, is that 440 hertz to tune it to A?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So like they use that frequency amongst all the other frequencies that make up that C note or A note, and they use specifically 440 as the guideline to whether or not it's perfect pitch or not.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So if it's flat or sharp or it's right
so
down the
8
middle.
hertz is
like fucking
discernible.
You can't even hear that.
Yeah,
Most
that's what I thought.
People can't hear that.
Yeah.
Most the average human hearing is 20 hertz to 18K. Some people can hear 20 to 20. Some people can hear 15 to 25.
But to be able to tell the difference between 440 and 432, you probably couldn't on a conscious level.
You could.
On a conscious level, like you're
Yeah,
like,
hang on. I can actually play you a 440 hertz tone. This is like some nerdy shit. So, where is it? Here we go. This is just a sine wave. So that's 440 hertz. That's what 440 hertz and A at 440 hertz sounds like.
Okay.
So then, like, on the difference is going to be hard. Might be hard to pick up here.
Sounds exactly the same.
Yeah, see, that's 432. It's tricky, but like if I do, let me do.
It would be really great if you could play one in my right ear and one in my left ear.
Well, let me play you. I'll play you 50 hertz.
This is a
cardinal sin. No, that's not it.
Well, 50 hertz is going to be like bassy, right?
Yeah. Listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I think the thing that I have trouble differentiating is the difference between a note and the hertz. Because you say an A note at 432, what about a D note at 432?
See, it's going to sound different.
But it's going to be at the same frequency.
But there's that same frequency is within that sound.
Okay.
And that's what they're using to guide as a guide to.
Okay, can you play like a 440 D note?
I'm actually doing. I'm gonna find a side
Hi,
by
everyone,
side.
I'm Rick. Yeah.
No, I don't need you to talk to me about it. You fucking shitbird. This is going great. Let me see here. I'm just trying to find somebody who's doing. Yeah, here we go.
There's been a lot of
No! I can't find it like just playing the tone. It's because I haven't researched this yet. I was going to research it. I don't know. Here we go. So this is a song. This is a song in 440.
It's a terrible song.
It's terrible, yeah, I know. And at 432.
Sounds very different. Go back to the other one. The first one sounds more like background. Like, given the choice between the two of them, if it was going to be a score for a movie, like just something happening while other shit was happening, I'd pick the one at 432.
And that's the thing.
So I can hear a difference.
That's what he was trying to explain to me. Is that it's
can you mix them up and see if I can pick it out?
Not that I just X'd out everything. Yeah, I could do like. So let me hang on.
It sounded more like okay, like if you're watching a movie on a crappy TV versus a good TV.
I might be explaining the whole thing wrong, but I mean,
maybe I don't know.
I think I'm doing a good job.
So those two sounds sounded like no, that's a terrible way to describe it. So if you're listening to music, no, that's not it either. One almost it didn't sound louder, but it felt louder. Does that make sense?
Let's try something here. All right. Let's see what this does. Which frequency do you enjoy the most? Now this is just music tuned to
at one of those.
Yeah.
Is the second one 432? No.
No, it's 440.
I can't tell. They sound exactly the same to me.
It's a little bit higher.
Yeah, that one sounds exactly the same to me. Yeah, I can't pick it up.
Yeah, I need to do like some audio. I'd have to like edit a bunch of shit to fucking figure it out. But yeah, in the end, this is like
I'm sure there's a difference. I don't know how significant it is.
It's got. I don't know what the whole conspiracy is. If there is a conspiracy, because your buddy sounds like he's big into conspiracy. So,
he wouldn't call it that.
The anomaly. Is that what he would call it? An anomaly? The 440 conspiracy theory. Hold on, here we go. Jacob Marion's conspiracy theory. Blah, blah, blah.
Jesus Christ, the first fucking thing that comes up is chakra.
Well, it's saying that the 432 hertz is like the God, the God, what are they saying here? The God, they just said it. God's sound, the God sound. Oh, excuse me. So presumably the 432 hertz tuning is in some way tuned to the vibrations of nature itself, whereas 440 hertz tuning was introduced by Joseph Goebbels in the Nazi minister of propaganda.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't think that's correct because I think the French.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was concentrating on other things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not sound waves. Here we go. Oh God, there's so much. Like I haven't. You told me he wasn't coming on, so
it's
I
like
didn't
the
really.
shit
I
where
really
it's
didn't
like
bone up on it. No.
According to the proponents of the theory, the number 432 has special properties. You start a fucking paragraph like that, I'm just tuning the fuck out because you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's an interesting number. It's a sum of 4 consecutive primes: 103, 107, 109, and 113.
Oh.
It is exactly 3 gross, where gross equals 144 is a traditional unit. An equilateral triangle whose area and perimeter are equal has the area exactly the square root of 432.
Oh,
those all sound like coincidences to me. I'm pretty sure you could pick that out of anything. That doesn't.
You could probably find another number that does that.
Yeah, there's thousands of numbers that are like that. I had a conversation with somebody who was talking about. I don't want to get too into it, but she was a professional bowler apparently.
Oh.
And she.
Apparently, you didn't believe her?
No, she was, but she went into this whole thing about how I was sitting there with Chris. Maybe Chris will remember it a little bit better. I was coming off a double. But she was talking about how, like, she bowled a 300, and then her dad called her out of nowhere, and she told him he bowled a 300, and then he died, and there was all these mathematical things that linked it all together. And she's like...
She was explaining this to
yeah.
you?
Oh,
Was it
yeah.
a customer?
No. So I'm not going to say her name.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's just like, you thought about this a lot, like a lot. And it's just like, just because all those numbers add up to 300 doesn't make it anything.
Yeah.
It's still nothing. It's just a coincidence.
Should have her watch the number 23 as a cautionary tale. Just so she doesn't go down the rabbit hole.
Stupid-ass movie. All right, yeah. So, I mean, I think this is nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, we'll see. Steve's going to come on one day, and he's going to straighten it all out for us.
Yeah, I mean... Let's check out the Snopes article.
Bunch of shit happened, though, while we were gone.
Yeah.
While we were away for the week.
There is no Snopes article, which means that this is nothing. It's just nothing.
Our president got impeached. Or wait.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
No, he did.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So third president ever to be impeached, despite what most people think. One of those three was not President Nixon.
I know. How funny is that?
Yeah. He would have been. He was going to be removed from office for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was.
They were.
We were
it was
talking
kind
about-
of like if they were in the middle of this process and President Trump just resigned.
Yeah.
It would have just stopped.
Somebody told. I read something on Facebook from somebody.
Who was the first one?
I don't know. Actually,
I can't
know.
remember.
I know it was Clinton. I know it was Clinton. I just don't remember the first president. And it's probably like Millard Fillmore or
No, I
some
think it's like
fucking
McKinley or something like that.
Yeah, way out fucking thing.
Oh my God. And I'm going to have to scroll through a whole bunch of shit.
Well,
Andrew Johnson.
Andrew Johnson.
I'd like to know more of that.
When was he around? The old Johnson.
1868, Andrew Johnson was impeached, charged with breaching the Tenure of Office Act, but the Senate narrowly acquitted him on by one vote.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tenure of office.
I don't know what that means.
That's interesting. So what now? Because I know you know, and a lot of people.
Nothing.
Don't
I mean,
know.
like every Republican who says this is political theater is completely correct.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that the things that Trump did were not impeachable offenses.
Yeah.
The thing is, they knew that they wouldn't win. They would get the votes they needed in the Senate. And then it's going to turn it into a bit of a circus to go through the trial, which is going to misdirect a whole bunch of shit. But the main thing is to get people like Mitt Romney to say, yes, he should be removed from office. Because Mitt Romney, if he does not say that, will no longer be a congressman.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or senator. Yes, senator. So they need to get 5, 6, 7 of them to vote to remove him, even though they know he'll never be removed. They need like.
Is it that many? I thought it was a lot more.
Oh no!
Don't they
In
need,
order
like,
in order
2/3
in
vote?
order to actually get him removed, they need 2/3 vote.
Yeah.
They have 50-50 right now.
Yeah.
That's it. But the thing is, if you can get, the exact numbers escape me, but if you can get 4 or 5 or 6 Republicans to say yes, he should be removed from office, so that they can save their skin because they are in districts that are imperiled. Mitt Romney is the only one that comes to mind, but there are several other ones. If they look at it and they say, I don't think the president's going to win another term, I'm going to be better off voting to remove him from office, knowing that he won't actually be removed. So then there won't be much blowback on the Republican side, but I won't lose the independence that I rely on in my district to get me back in my job. So I think that's what they're doing. And I think also a lot of it is just so that Nancy Pelosi can say, like, no, I'm going to hold this over your head. And until you come out with the rules for this trial, we are not releasing these articles of impeachment. And if you really want to fucking play games, we'll do it the night of the goddamn election.
Yeah.
You really want to fuck around? That trial starts the night of the goddamn election.
Yep.
So she's holding on to a lot of power because she's not held by any timeline to release those articles to go to trial.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people don't understand. They just don't understand how impeachment works. Impeachment is just, it's like a grand jury.
Yeah.
It's just going, we feel like we have enough evidence to go to trial to prove that he committed high crimes and misdemeanors.
They're all voting on whether or not they're able to prosecute.
Yep. And the thing is, high crimes and misdemeanors means whatever Congress and the Senate feels to be an abuse of the presidential office, not necessarily committing a crime.
Yeah.
If President Trump goes to Russia, sits down with Putin, and says, I want you to meddle in our next election, that's technically not illegal. That's him just saying, I'd like you to commit an international crime.
Yeah.
That's like me going to you and saying, it'd be super awesome if you robbed my neighbor because I don't like that guy. It would take a hell of a lot for a court to convict me of telling you it'd be super cool if you did that.
Yeah.
Because that's not really illegal.
But
it's
he said
bordering
I'd be
on
cool.
it. Yeah.
That's not a good defense.
Yeah, to just say like, hey, I might be in your debt a little bit were my wife to not come home tonight. That's almost hiring a hitman, but it's not really.
Quite. Man, Jesus. Yeah.
So that's the thing. That's why it's vague, because it needs to be that our elected officials will work it out. And the thing is, I think that they were fairly measured. They could have gone after him for a hell of a lot more. I mean, lying to the American public 6,000 times. There's fucking that. But I mean, like anybody, anytime I go, well, he's a liar, they go, well, Hillary's a liar too. Yeah, I don't care about that. That's not what we're fucking talking about. She's not the president. If you want to have that conversation when she won, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because she is. She's a piece of shit. I didn't want her as our fucking president either. But the thing is, Donald Trump is a liar. And when they go, well, he's not really. What about Stormy Daniels when he said, no, I never paid her off? And then it turned into, well, I didn't pay her off. My lawyer paid her off. Did you know about it? No, I didn't know about it. And then it turns into, well, yeah, I knew about it, but he did it with his own money. And then it turns into, oh, no, he's a piece of shit, and he's a fucking asshole, and he's a terrible person. And then he goes back and says that I didn't know about it, and then I did, and then this and that. It's just so contradictory, and there's just no... When he was standing on Air Force One and said, no, I didn't know about it, that was a lie.
Yeah.
That was a flat-out lie.
Mm-hmm.
There's no fucking question about that. If you want to talk about his lawyer being whoever he is and him being an imbecile and a piece of shit, Rudy Giuliani's going to be the next one on that fucking chocolate block.
Oh,
he's going to be like, oh, sure. Yeah, he's a fucking asshole. I never should have hired him. It's like, all right, well, obviously
Kinda right, too.
you've had more
Dum-dum.
you've had more turnaround of any administration in history. You have fired more people than any president in history, and you haven't even been in the office for 3 years. More people. And you constantly say, they're a fucking idiot. It was a horrible mistake to hire him. Maybe you're not a very good judge of character for a fucking person who had a show about firing people. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Of somebody I saw on Facebook. Somebody saw on Facebook. They were complaining that the impeachment thing was even happening in general. Like, what's the point with the election so close and this and that and blah blah blah? Why not let the American people make their choice?
Because they need to know these. They need to know these facts.
I know. And I said, like, I didn't, I'm not going to get into a Facebook argument, especially with this person, because, like, they're family.
Oh, wasn't Scott?
No. Scott, I'm sure Scott's got his own fucking thing.
Yeah.
But
I do. Scott, if you want to come back on the show, I've got an answer to your question, why wouldn't we want to be friends with Russia? Got a couple answers to that now.
But,
my next question is, why do we not want to be friends with Saudi Arabia? I got a few fucking answers for that one, too. But, yeah. No, I get what you mean. It's just... The thing is, regardless of where you stand on it...
Sorry.
You cannot justify... like whether there was this quid pro quo or not, the thing is that Congress said, we want to know. The president said, no, I'm not telling you. Then they sent, well before there was impeachment, well before, they said, we want the actual transcript, not notes, because that's all we have. We have him saying, it's a perfect phone call, here are the notes. There's no transcript. There's a you don't think that in 2019 every single fucking phone call is recorded?
What defines a perfect phone call? Because it was. He's the best phone call that ever happened.
He's like a fucking 8-year-old writing an essay.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, but it's also terrifying because, like, okay, so. Like the political drama of it all, like I want to scrape away all that nonsense and like how much of this is legit. Like, yeah, if they have most of this stuff is legit. He did do this shit. They most people think he did. He did, and so.
But
and
the thing is,
they have transcripts and recordings of him.
But if you look at the polls, only about 50% of people still believe that he should be removed from office. It's right along party lines.
It's weird,
but
man.
the fucked up thing is, the thing that pisses me off the most is that it's so transparent that we're getting desensitized to it. And they're like, oh, it's fucking Trump. But the thing is, if, you look at this situation cut and dry by the facts, by the timeline, he called him up and said, hey, maybe you should look into this. And then it was obviously implied. He says, oh, there was no implication, because of course he has to say that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the Republican defense is that this is all hearsay. This is whatever. No, it's not hearsay, because they have a whistleblower on the record who is protected under federal law and does not have to testify. He only has to testify to the prosecution. Right? Now, once we get into the full impeachment process, he will be able to be cross-examined, but his or her identity needs to stay secret. That's the whole thing. They keep saying hearsay this, hearsay that, hearsay this. Hearsay is admissible in a grand jury trial because it can say like, well, I heard this person say this. It's just showing that like it needs to be investigated. It needs to be proven in court. That's like, how do you not understand that? Like, if you were under investigation for a crime like fucking tax evasion or murder, do you think they're going to come to you and say, do you want to call a couple witnesses to the grand jury just to,
you got to call them yourself.
Yeah. No, you do that during a trial. You don't. It's preparation for a trial. Stupid fucks. And it's just like, oh, the aid was released before the deadline. Yeah, but that was also after the impeachment inquiry started based on this. Of course you released the aid. Give me a fucking break. So, yeah. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. And
I knew you'd be like watching this with like a hawk.
Oh yeah. I watch it for 4 hours a day, pretty much.
I kind of like.
But the thing is,
I kind of bone up on it, and then I walk away, and I'm like, well, it's gonna happen the way it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
like,
there's nothing you can do about it right now.
It's just a bunch of politicians doing their thing right now.
The thing is, it's not just politics. It's to the point where they're like, we're releasing these 2 articles of impeachment, and these are the 2 glaring fucking things. Mm-hmm. But you could construe him lying to the public, just lying to the public about his personal dealings and potential campaign finance issues. Just him lying, that could be construed as an impeachable offense. I think that would be going too far. I think that that's something that the American people should decide. But unfortunately, there's no one in a situation that can go, did you lie about that? And have him actually answer. He just pretends he doesn't hear you.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
He never stopped campaigning.
What's the new fucking thing? I don't understand wind. Like he was talking shit about like wind turbines, how it's going to kill bald eagles, and they have time.
Yeah. Sometimes he just makes things up and then just sticks to it. Did you see the thing with the weather map?
No, oh yeah.
Where he was talking about like horrible flooding and like this is gonna be the worst thing ever, and then he just drew shit in with a Sharpie.
Hold on, I want to see if I can get like a quick clip of him like yammering. No, here. Oh.
This is definitely going to play an ad.
What do you think? Yes?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Told you.
We're going to China. Oh, look, China.
Yeah, Shenyun 2020.
An economy based on wind. I never understood wind. I know windmills very much.
I know
it
windmills
better than
very
anybody.
much.
I know it's very
I've
expensive.
studied them. They're expensive. Okay.
They're made in China and Germany mostly. Very few made here, almost none.
Also not true.
Germany also has like the largest. I think Germany has the largest wind farm in the country or in the world.
Yeah, but until we discovered natural gas in the United States, we were one of the biggest ones. But anyway, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Hardly any of them made here.
Manufactured tremendous, if you're into this, tremendous fumes, gases are spewing into the atmosphere. We have a world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the world is tiny compared to the universe. So tremendous amount of fumes and everything. You talk about the carbon footprint. Fumes are spewing into the air, right? Spewing. They're noisy.
But what is he saying?
They kill the birds. You want to see a bird graveyard? You just go
Bird
take
graveyard.
a look.
He's talking about the wind turbines.
Yeah,
he's saying that their byproduct is noxious or poisonous. Hold on, there's more.
Bird graveyard? Go under a windmill someday. You'll see more
I know
birds
drunk
than you've ever
regulars
seen ever
at work
in your life.
that speak way better than he does. I had a guy the other day talking to me about how his wife kicked him out of the house for drinking one beer. Can you believe that? Can you believe she kicked me out of the house for drinking one beer?
One beer?
I'm living at the Days Inn now. Can you believe that? I mean, I have cirrhosis of the liver, but still, one beer. I'm like, you've been sitting here for 3.5 hours. You've had 9 beers today.
Yeah.
And you're just telling me that when you leave here, you're going to go over to another bar, drink a few more beers, and then come back. So what the fuck are you talking about? He is more coherent than this guy. 9 drinks in.
Well, a little bit more.
In California, they were killing the bald eagle. If you shoot a bald eagle, they want to put you in jail for 10 years. A windmill will kill many bald eagles. It's true. And you know what? After a certain number, they make you turn the windmill off. That's true, by the way. They make you turn it off. And yet, if you killed one, they put you in jail. That's okay. But why is it okay for these windmills to destroy the bird population? And that's what they're doing.
I don't understand how you could
brings
not just
5,000.
play that for someone and go, oh, he's retarded. He's a retarded person.
Okay, hold on.
I just think he's high all the time.
Well, I mean, he's not totally wrong because I'm just
okay.
I'm
kill
reading
kill all of the bald eagles. Kill every single one of them if we can get off of fossil fuels.
Wind turbines kill far fewer birds in North America than do cats or collisions. A study. Blah, blah, blah. Wind turbines kill between 214,000 and 368,000 birds annually, a small fraction compared with the estimated 6.8 million fatalities from collisions with cell and radio towers and the 1.4 billion to 3.7 billion deaths from cats.
Yeah.
Just cats killing
An
birds.
invasive species. An invasive species that we keep in our house.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's just nonsense. It's fucking nonsense.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. So, I mean, like, he's not totally wrong.
No, he's totally wrong.
But he's mostly wrong.
He's saying that you want to talk about a carbon footprint. Let's talk about how many. I bet you bald eagles is 0. It's 0 in the United. I bet $100 in that right now.
Yeah, nowhere that has bald eagles has a lot of wind turbines.
Yeah, it's some dumb fuck duck flying into a wind turbine. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
And I don't think he understands what a wind turbine is.
You
can't, but you can't get sucked. You understand you can't get sucked into a wind turbine,
they're super
right?
slow if you watch them.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, it's the opposite of that.
Yeah.
It's not powered. It's not sucking air. The air is pushing it.
Yeah.
So a bird can just fly around it. It's just not. He thinks of it as like you have a fan, you throw a rock into it, and it goes. Brrr! That's not how it works. The wind is blowing towards it, and you're actually going to be pushed around it more than likely. Yeah. He just has no grasp on basic science.
And I'm not.
And part of it is because he knows, well, the fucktards that are going to vote for me, they have no grasp on it either. So I need to pretend like, it's stupid.
I just I don't know. I just it amazes me. It amazes me that
It amazes me he's still alive.
So this motherfucker I'm friends with, this guy Wayne, he lives in Portland. He's a piece of shit. He said he wrote on Facebook, "Breaking news: Trump found unresponsive." And I went, "What the fuck?" I ran to the fucking internet. And I'm scrolling. Trump unresponsive, Trump dead, Trump overdose, Trump this, Trump that. Nothing, not a thing. So I go back to the page, I kick on the comments, and it's just like, it's every comment is just like, I can't find what you're talking about. Is this real? Is he serious? Is he dead? How's he dead? Why is he unresponsive? And I'm like, this piece of shit. He got everybody. Fucking got everybody.
Dude. I mean, like, the thing is, he might live like a long time. Like, some people just have those genetics where they can just eat fucking McDonald's every day.
I have tremendous genetics. You can say genetics.
Have you seen the picture? Let me see if I can pull it up.
I have tremendous genetics. And I know because I've studied genetics.
So look at this. So this fucking picture. Here, can you pull me up on the...
Yep. Boom.
So this is a real picture. There's been a bunch of fake ones, like memes and shit. But this is the real picture, right? Of course, it's a PNG. Jesus Christ. Okay. So this is the original picture, right? With him, yeah. So, okay, wait. So, by the way, in this picture, he's eating like a fucking, like a burrito bowl out of a tortilla bowl.
It's a taco
and he said something about how he loves Mexicans. And that, like, so that in and of itself was very funny. But then you see this drawer back here?
Yeah.
Right? If you zoom in, it's full of fucking pills. Right? Now, a lot of people dug deep on this and found that this is Canadian Sudafed. So this is the shit that when you go to Canada, because they have universal health care, you can go to the pharmacy and you can talk to a pharmacist who is pretty close to like a doctor in a lot of countries. And you go and you talk to a pharmacist and you say, I have a really bad cold. I would like some Sudafed.
I did this in Germany.
And they say, cool. And they give you something that in the United States you'd need a prescription for. Now, that's what this is.
Can I tell you the German thing? Can I tell you the German thing?
No, you did on the show. Didn't they give you something crazy?
Yeah.
Like you can
you
get
go up, you literally walk in, and it's like walking into it's almost like walking into a doctor's office. They have like glasses and stuff, like reading glasses and things, like those like quick prescription stuff. They have certain things on the wall that you can buy and stuff like that.
But for the most part, they call him a chemist.
If you want medicine, you walk up to the person and you're like, "Hi, I'm looking for medicine," and they're like, "All right, great. What are your symptoms?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, I just have a cold. We're shot. We came in from America. We're a little bit jet lagged, probably, but we're both like sick. We're like congested, throat bad. Okay, hang on one second." She comes back with like 3 or 4 different options. She says, "This is this, and this is that, and this is that, and this is that." I'm like, "Cool. I'll get this and this." It fucking knocked us silly. It killed it.
Yeah.
No more cold. Cold was gone.
Yeah, it's because you were on amphetamines.
Yeah. And I felt like $1 million. It was
and they work great. And
they tell you how much you got to take. You can take this many. You can't take more than this.
Yep.
And each dose is exactly how much you're supposed to take. Don't take any more.
Yep. And the reason that they don't have problems with this kind of shit in most of this. I mean, every country has drug problems. Sure. Every country. But it's
flambois.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it in a second.
Yeah.
So every country has problems with prescription drugs. But the biggest problem in the United States is that people get addicted to a prescription that they got from their doctor because they weren't told how to use it, or they were prescribed way the fuck too much. Like I have fucking hydrocodone, at my house that if I took 4 of them with 2 drinks could kill me.
Yeah, for sure.
And why should I have that in my house? That's crazy. That's insane. If I need that much medication, I should be going to a doctor or be in the hospital. But I got that because I had a tooth pulled. Give me a fucking break. And that's well after all of this opioid crisis stuff. So the thing is, what you took is the base for methamphetamine. It's sufedrin. Yeah. Right? It's the shit that fucks you up. It is the shit that gets you high. It is an upper. It is fucking speed.
It's awesome. Is what it is.
And that slightly open desk drawer is full of it. Yeah. This guy is popping 6 or 8 of those a day. That's how he can campaign for 12 hours straight. That's how he doesn't sleep. That's how he's up at 6 a.m. watching Fox News every day and going, I don't work until 10, guys. I got to watch this. That, like, he is on drugs. He is on drugs. And that's also why he's not 600 pounds. Because the amount of food he eats, apparently, is nuts. He eats fast food twice a day.
Really?
Yeah. He eats breakfast in the White House, and then he eats fast food 2 other times a day. Do you remember when the government was shut down?
Yeah.
And, like, a bunch of college football teams and shit were coming in? He just cut a check and sent an intern to, like, 6 fast food places. That was his answer to it, because there were no cooks at the White House. There was no one to cook at the White House because he shut the government down.
Oh, man.
Shit is nuts. But, yeah. So people, like, zoomed in on these. So Sudafed mucus relief day and night capsules. Paracetamol, caffeine, and phenylephrine. 16 capsules. Like, so there's
So he probably feels like shit.
No, he probably feels great.
Well, no. He probably feels like shit at one point and goes, "Oh, I got to take this. It makes me feel better." Or what do you think?
So there was a big article
you think
about
he's legally using drugs, is what you mean? Like
this trick. I've used this trick myself. If you're on 4 hours of sleep and you're hungover and you're a mechanic and you gotta be at work at 8 a.m., just pop a double dose of cold medicine and you feel like $1 million for about 4 hours.
Oh shit!
Sufedrin. It's fucking speed. Speed is sufedrin. That's what it is. It's just concentrated. It's like if you take 10 of them, the only thing that would really mess you up is that there's acetaminophen and acetaminophen and caffeine, right? So you're double dosing the acetaminophen and caffeine too. But the thing is, with these like Canadian
blood
ones,
thinner and all that,
yeah. I mean, if you have 1,600 milligrams of caffeine, 1,600 milligrams of aspirin or ibuprofen, plus 1,600 milligrams of any of these types of phenylephrine or whatever, you're gonna have major problems. You're gonna feel like shit. And they do that for a reason, so you can't abuse it. But in countries like you were just talking about, you actually go and you talk to someone, and that person goes, this guy's a tweaker. He doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not giving it to him. Whereas in the United States, you just go to Rite Aid, you show your ID, they give you 2 of them, and that's that. But he's got unlimited money. He can just pay someone to go and get me 2 boxes.
Several someones to just run out and grab them. Oh.
So you can get this stuff in the United States, but even then, the stuff behind the counter in the United States is still not as high test as in other countries.
It sure isn't, man.
And I mean, if you're in New York City, what is it to fucking... You're telling me there's no Trump Tower in Canada? Like, he's got hotels all around the world.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
So, and there was a news article many years ago, and this was like a super weird situation, and the guy was like... He was kind of blackballed in the whole industry, and nobody really knows why. But he wrote an article about, like, this is the pharmacy that Donald Trump gets his drugs from. And he was getting prescriptions from doctors for diet pills, and he had some sort of undisclosed dietary issue. And, yeah, he ate fucking 12 hamburgers a day. You know, like, that's what it was. And he was on diet pills for, like, 20 years.
His shits, can you imagine him shitting? I want you to picture him shitting. All that fast food and all that fucking
It's
all
just
those
diarrhea all the time.
drugs and everything. It's either diarrhea all the time or like fucking Elvis kind of constipation. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if you're on uppers, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, none of that shit's good for your digestive system. It fucks up. It fucks you up.
Get no fiber, just protein and carbohydrates.
Yeah, he's just
fat.
sitting on. That's what he does before 10 a.m. He's up at 6, but he's sitting on the toilet till 10.
But
trying to
also,
pass that log.
right back to that picture, he seriously said in a tweet, "I love Mexicans."
Yeah,
and he's eating a burrito bowl.
It's a taco bowl.
Like, I mean, what the fuck is wrong with
probably
you?
from Chipotle.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah, it's interesting.
it's fucking crazy to me. But yeah, so he's
so we're gonna see what happens with that.
Yeah, he's not going to be removed from office. That's not going to happen. And especially because they don't want to remove him from office because, yay, President Pence. Like, nobody fucking wants that.
No.
Give me a goddamn break.
They just want to put the pressure. They want to make the Republicans look stupid long enough.
It's not even just that. It is legitimately their constitutional responsibility to do it. It just is.
Yeah.
So it voted along party lines. Fine.
You love the Constitution
you know,
so much. This is part of. This is like a big chunk of it.
Yeah, and they're constantly talking about, oh, this is an abuse of power by the Democrats and this and that. No, they were very measured in their response. They had 5 or 6 things that they could have done this with a long time ago. I really thought that it was going to come down to campaign finance violations. I really thought that was what it was going to come down to because of Stormy Daniels and the other chick, the other playmate.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know. I'll probably think of it. But I really thought it was going to come down to that because if it did come down to this was his money and he paid off somebody to keep something quiet, that is 100% a campaign finance violation. But if he didn't do it, that's different. But if you pressured someone to do it, it's the same thing. Or if his lawyer, was it Cohen was his name? Michael Cohen. If his lawyer did it on his behalf and then was repaid,
It was Cohen, yeah.
then that's the same thing. If his lawyer did it on his behalf and never asked for any money, that's still a campaign finance violation because it's considered a campaign contribution. Because he paid $10,000 to make it go away. You're not allowed to do that. But if a super PAC, if you had a super PAC that paid her off, if you had a super PAC that paid her off without his knowledge or permission, that would be legal.
Here's the funny yeah, I know. Well, that's the funny thing. I think super PACs only belong to the Democratic Party.
They just call it something different.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. No, that was the whole Citizens United ruling where it's a corporation. A corporation has the ability to have an opinion, but a corporation is not defined as a single contributor to a campaign. So, like, let's say if I wanted to give Bernie Sanders $100,000, that's illegal. I can only give him it's like $1,500 or something like that. That's illegal. But if I were to start a community organization that has they call it a super PAC, but it's just a company that advertises on his behalf. That's different because I'm not directly giving him the money. It's a ridiculous loophole.
You're just a creep who's who's rooting for him.
But the funny thing is, like,
that's what it is, man.
The
it's
funny thing is, dude, I would love to start. Here's what I would love to do. If I had $300 million, right? If I just had $300 million, I would spend the next, let's say Trump gets reelected. I would spend the next 2 years creating a fake Nazi party. And then I would campaign for Trump on behalf of this alt-right racist party in order to flip an election. That would be legal. That's a fucking problem. That's a fucking problem. You want to know what else I could do? I could take $100 million and put advertising on Facebook saying Donald Trump
smells like onions.
supported the new Green Deal. He is in bed with AOC. He is not a Republican. He is a liar. Right? That's totally illegal. It's a complete lie. He didn't support it at all. But it's a complete lie. Yeah. But I can put that on Facebook.
Yeah.
And
not with their new filtering system and their new bots.
Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez specifically asked, what the fuck's his name? The guy who runs Facebook? I'm so terrible with names.
God, yeah.
Zuckerberg.
Martin Shkreli.
She specifically asked Zuckerberg. She was like, so if I were to take a Republican candidate that's running for Congress and I were to run targeted ads in his district and spend an ungodly amount of money and lie and say that he voted for the Green New Deal, would you allow that? And he had no answer. No answer whatsoever. So you could just lie. You just flat out lie. It's totally legal. It's not considered a campaign finance violation because you're not giving the money to the candidate, but you're spreading disinformation. It's fucking crazy. If I could wave a magic wand, all political advertisement would disappear. There is no more publicly funded campaigns. Facebook, all social media, it is illegal to post anything political.
Yeah, well,
it's the only way it'll work.
But that's when you start crossing over into that fucking like.
No,
you don't think that starts crossing over into like a dangerous territory?
Absolutely not. Because if they want to have their own Facebook page, and advertise their own shit. Yeah. That's fine. I'm not talking about squashing political ideas. I'm talking about if you want to make money off of this, you need to create content that people want to watch that includes this shit. And then your advertisers can be Toyota or whatever. The thing is, and this is a big if they said 0 campaign contributions, not allowed, a lot of people would say, or you have individual donor contributions, so no corporate money, that kind of thing. So like I could give money to Bernie Sanders, but my company couldn't, right? And then you have government funded, so basically everybody pays for it.
Yep.
Then at that point, I guarantee every single candidate would have the exact same amount of time on Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, because that's what gets them their fucking commercial revenue.
For sure, yeah.
That's all you need to do. The money it's gone. It's no longer in politics. It's done. And there you go. A lot of people think that if you try to do that, then the only people that could run would be millionaires, but that's already what we have. That's already how it is. This just takes us a step in the right direction. But Bernie Sanders, yeah, he's pretty well off. But, I know a lot of 80-something-year-old men that are pretty fucking well off.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is a dumb Christmas episode.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with Christmas. This is all the shit that's coming down. Yeah. And another Christmas, third Christmas in a row, where we get a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Not yet.
Are you waiting? Or
no, I'm going to go see it. I'm going to wait until after the holidays.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't gotten any spoilers, which is great, aside from there's like another puppet that people are annoyed about.
Well, yeah. I mean, I honestly, it's kind of, so far, I have nothing. I just have what I saw in like a couple trailers. And just like Endgame, I think that spoilers, I think most people are really good about spoilers. I think the people that get spoiled almost
seek it out.
Like they do it to themselves by clicking on something. Their curiosity makes them click and scroll. And then all of a sudden they see one word or 2 words. This happened to me. Yeah. And then they go, fuck. And then, they're like, it's spoiled. I wish they gave me more warning.
Well, I mean, like the
Mandalorian
with the Baby Yoda thing. Like, I was upset that I knew about that before I watched the show. But
I wasn't. I didn't give a
But it was just because, like, also it's my fault for just scrolling through Instagram too much every day.
There's that. Yeah, that's the thing too. But like, I'm good. It's been out. Like the whole weekend has passed. I got nothing.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna see it next week.
I know Palpatine's back, but everybody fucking knew that. because his voice was in the goddamn thing, and then a million articles came out. Palpatine.
Yeah. So is he like is he like force projected ghost?
I have no idea. I don't know, but I know he's there.
But honestly, like, why wouldn't he be able to do it?
Why not?
Why not? I mean, Anakin can do it.
See,
is it?
I'm looking at the. This is what I'm.
Especially if the force is two equal sides of a coin, not good, not evil. Like that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's supposed to be this horrible fight that just does not stop.
Yeah,
it's just continuous. It's cyclical. The fucking
and especially
the Jedi go too high and then they get knocked down by the Sith, and the Sith go too high and they get knocked down, and
especially because they're supposed to be. In the end, they're supposed to be equal, even though the dark side is easier to attain.
Yeah.
Right. So you like the power of the dark side is it's almost just like
the amount of power you gain from
and quickly.
Yeah. Exactly.
So. But that would stand to reason. Like, why would that change? Like after you killed somebody,
exactly.
You know, if
the other thing that they don't
Obi-Wan and all of them are just they pop in and out whenever it's needed.
The other thing they don't touch on is the Sith. That word Sith. Like everybody's just like, oh, it's a dark side Jedi. It's not. It's actual like type of dark side. This is like so nerdy.
Yeah.
It's actually a type of dark side. It's kind of like the difference between a pagan and a Wiccan.
Okay, that's stupid, but sure.
Does that make sense?
I mean, they're two. No, it doesn't for me.
Well, they're two nature-based religions. Yes.
Okay.
So
you're saying that okay.
One's more worshiping and more. Just kind of nature is what it is, and the harvest. And
I guess
nature.
I just needed clarification.
The other one is more. There's magic involved. There's manipulation of energy and things like that.
Well, you see, the thing is the reason that I didn't get where you were going right there is because I look at paganism as people going, sun comes up in the morning, we don't know why, must be God, and then Wiccans, it's just made up.
Well, yeah. But I mean, like there was like pagan sacrifice and all that stuff, like Nordic stuff, shit like that. But like with the Sith, like from what I was,
so it's more of a religion than a, because I wouldn't consider
exactly. It's more of
a religion than a practice.
Correct.
Whereas like the Jedi is very much a religion, but I didn't really see Palpatine ever being like the religious type.
Because you haven't watched the Clone Wars.
No, I haven't.
There's like
I did just see a meme where I guess in the Clone Wars there was the fucking Starkiller base was in it, like as they were building it.
Oh.
Yeah, like somebody took a screenshot and said this planet is the Starkiller base.
Oh, it might be because there's a new season of the Clone Wars coming out.
Okay.
So it might be from the trailer of that.
Yeah.
But in any case, Palpatine, there's scenes in the Clone Wars of Palpatine like over this altar, and he's casting like a spell, like a goddamn wizard, and he's using the dark side of the Force and his Sith magic, or he's using the dark side of the Force to amplify his Sith magic. Now, Sith is a race that was part of that came from a planet, and I can't remember the name of it, but they were basically overthrown by a Jedi Master, and that's why they're called Sith Lords. Because they're the Lord of this race of the Sith. And then it became kind of like just the term, a broad stroke term for someone who practices the dark side according to this style of... They don't get into all that because I don't think they can quite explain it so easily. The Clone Wars is crazy. It's this shitty... Not shitty, but it's this goofy fucking animated show for kids.
I'd like to check it out.
It's
but
for
it's
kids.
all canon though.
It's
so
all canon
stuff
now.
You gotta know.
But there's like hints and weird shit in there all the time that you're just like, huh, that's strange. You know, they have silver colored lightsabers.
That's cool.
Yeah, Master Sinube has one. Who's Master Sinube? He's an old fucking Jedi.
I saw a meme today, or it was yesterday. There's a lot of Star Wars memes that are fucking hilarious. But it's like, as you're fighting with a lightsaber, why wouldn't you utilize the fact that you can turn your lightsaber instantly on and off? So when you swing a lightsaber and someone blocks it, just turn it off and then turn it back on. And they can't block it because it's going to be off, and then it's back on in your face.
It's funny because there has been shit in like video games and stuff that have done that. Like this like really cool saber fight where this chick, she was using a saber pike. It's the handle's like 3 feet long. She's spinning it around. She's turning it off. Guys are fucking whiffing past her because she turns it off and cuts them off at the end. But yeah, it's
there. You go. So so as you just practice that move and only use it like twice when you really need to.
This guy's expecting to just hit a fucking wall.
As
they
you turn it off, and his lightsaber swings past you, and then you just turn it on directly in his forehead. They come on. I mean, in the original ones, it was like, and it went kind of really like opened up.
Well,
and then in the new ones, it's like, and it's just on.
Well, no, I just watched the first one today. I had it on in the background, and when that scene came up, I stopped, and it was just like he turns it on, it's like bang, and it just lights up. But then later on, it comes when Obi-Wan, it just goes like a limp noodle. I guess it's because he's an old guy. It's harder to get it up.
Yeah, I don't know. Those inconsistencies really annoy me, but I get why. But everything has to progress in like an arc, or people will get bored.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's why you have. I mean, there are better fan fiction videos of lightsaber fights on YouTube than all of the lightsaber battles in the original trilogy combined.
Do yourself a favor and just go on, just type in lightsaber like fight choreography or something like that. Check out the Darth Maul short film.
Yeah. Oh, I watched that. It was great.
Oh my God,
you want to know what? You want to know one that I saw that was really cool? You know those gyms that have like the trampolines?
Yeah.
So they filmed a lightsaber battle in one of those gyms, and then they took the floor out, and it looked like they were jumping 18 feet in the air.
Yeah.
It was so fucking cool.
Hold on. I want to like. I'm just queuing something up here because I'm like incredibly. Your brother Matt actually mentioned this to me, and I was just like, no way. And he was just like, yeah, check it out. So, The Last Jedi, episode 8, I personally thought it was a heaping pile of dog shit, second only to fucking The Phantom Menace.
Yes.
Even, I don't know, I would actually prefer to watch it over Attack of the Clones, too. I just watched Attack of the Clones recently.
It's not great. It was an important film in the series, but not great.
So, The Force Awakens, 93% critic rating, 86% audience score. The Last Jedi, 91% critic rating, 91. Audience score, 43%.
That sucks.
It's bad, right?
Yeah.
Because it was a bad fucking movie. It was stupid. Right?
Yeah.
It was dumb as shit. Everybody was anticipating something.
It had its moments.
You know?
But
so here's the Rise of Skywalker. Critic rating 56%. So certified rotten.
Yeah.
Audience score 86%. So and from what I was told by the few people that have seen it, they were most people were like, you know what? They did enough to kind of like wrap it up and everybody's satisfied.
Yeah.
But what bothers me about that shit is I don't want to be satisfied, man.
Yeah.
You guys have a fucking endless pool of money you can dip into.
To pander to the lowest common denominator sucks, but to also go and be all high and mighty and just be like, no, this is the film we're making.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks too.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with The Matrix.
Yes.
You know, the Matrix was, they were like, no, this is our vision. And everyone's like, but we hated the last one you did. Why'd you do it again?
Yeah. I'm sorry, but your vision sucks. You need to pivot.
Yeah, but that was what they did with Star Wars. And no one's ever going to be fucking happy. No one's ever going to be fucking happy. Like some of the criticism that I've heard, and again, I haven't seen it, has been, well, I guess we should just let the fanfic writers write all the Star Wars movies. And it's just like, well, maybe you should. Those are, those are the biggest fans.
Because the Thrawn, if you've read the Thrawn series, the book, the Admiral Thrawn series, I can't remember the actual. It's a 3-book arc. It's perfect. You get that Ewok kind of naturey feeling from this place that they find, and then this guy, and then Thrawn. And then, like, all this crazy shit happens, and you don't expect a bunch of this person to die this way, and it happens. But then Thrawn is in the new Rebels show. And that book I read got tossed right the fuck out of the window.
Yeah.
Thrawn never was in that book. That never happened to him. They did something completely different with him. And I was just like, oh, that was really anticlimactic.
Did you ever hear the fan fiction about Han and Chewbacca? So this was super cool. I read this I read it on Reddit, but it was like it circulated around for a while. For I think it came out in probably the 90s.
Talk loud, because I want to grab some seltzer for this Sky vodka so I can finish it.
Are you going upstairs?
No, I'm just going right here.
Okay. So the idea was this takes place, I guess it was written in the late 80s, early 90s. Right? Yeah. And the idea was that there was some sort of accident with the Millennium Falcon. So now at this point, Han is in his 40s, right? So this would have been when they were making all the shitty prequels and stuff like that. Nothing's happening. So Han's in his 40s, maybe 50s, because what is he, like 65 now, 70?
That's the thing. They do these 20-year bumps. Between the
let's just call it. It was in the 90s. Harrison Ford's a little older than my dad. So, but the thing is, Wookiees live to be about 300 years old.
Yeah.
Right. So, the whole idea is in the 70s when A New Hope came out. It said a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. They assumed that was about 100 years. Right. For this fanfic.
Yeah.
Long time ago, 100 years. Galaxy far, far away. Something goes wrong with the Millennium Falcon, and they can't get it out of hyperdrive, right? So they spend several months in hyperdrive trying to fix the Millennium Falcon until it finally runs out of fuel and crash lands on Earth in the 1900s. Han dies in the crash, and Chewbacca is Bigfoot. Isn't that the coolest shit?
It's so fucking dumb.
So
but
then,
in
the 1960s, Chewbacca is just like surviving in the Pacific Northwest. Ironically, where they filmed Return of the Jedi.
Oh my God. What's the name? Do you remember the name?
No. I read this 10 years ago.
Oh, that's so fucking stupid. I love it. Oh my God. Amazing.
But yeah, that would be fucking... I mean, obviously, that's thrown out the window at this point, but...
Who said that? Like, oh, you want the fucking fan fiction writers? I mean, like...
It was just comments and shit.
Honestly, man, lots of... Thrawn wasn't made... You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Admiral Thrawn? He's in the Rebels. Mm-hmm. Rebels is kind of cool. If you like Clone Wars, you'll like Rebels a lot, because Rebels had a little bit more, like, you know... it was a little bit better, but... there's this Grand Admiral Thrawn. He's like a military genius. He's a chiss. And he's black hair, jet black hair, cobalt blue skin, pink eyes. Mm-hmm. And he is this military genius. He's into art. He's into music. He's into all these different things. He learns about the culture of the people that he's about to fucking decimate. Mm-hmm. He's like an ice cold surgeon. He was made up. Mm-hmm. He was completely made up by a fan fiction writer way back. But they fucking brought him in. They brought him into Rebels. He just showed up, and everybody was just like, "Holy fuck! They're bringing in Thrawn. This is great." And they didn't.
I hope somebody sued them.
They did a ton of justice to him. They really did. It's just like his end, and not like it was a total end. There's kind of like a cliffhanger a bit on that, but his end wasn't as good as the, because like in the books, he's still part of the Empire. The Emperor's dead. He's still flying around in his fucking dreadnought, fucking people up.
I like that that's happening in The Mandalorian.
Trying to keep the Empire alive. Yeah, all the warlords and everything. Yeah,
because that would definitely happen.
Werner Herzog.
That was the whole thing. I mean,
bounty
a lot
hunting is a complicated profession. Wouldn't you agree?
That's a good impression.
I know. I worked on it a lot. I love his voice.
Yeah, I'm really digging that show.
It's cool, man. It's fucking comic book. It's Western. Yeah. It's everything. It's like early 2000s TV. It's like Firefly almost.
Like we really need that gap between the two, because it would not have just wrapped up into a neat little package.
Nope. All the fan fiction is just like the galaxy is chaos.
Yeah.
The Senate's trying to build themselves back together. They're trying to like treaties with this planet and this planet because
it's been fucking 50 years of an empire.
20.
Only 20?
It was 20 years. Yeah.
So Anakin,
Luke was born.
So Darth Vader looked like he was hard in his 60s or 70s.
That's the thing, man. A lot of the timeline stuff doesn't add up quite when it comes to the aging of the characters.
Because
it's more like 30. But
because I guess
the space between.
I guess it would have been right when Luke was born. Luke and Leia were born is when the Empire was established.
Exactly, and the space between Luke, his leaving Tatooine and toppling the Empire is only like 4 years.
So it's 24 years of an empire. That seems silly. Seems very silly.
Yeah, man. I mean, like,
let
me just
like how long would it take to build a fucking Death Star?
I mean,
and they build 2 of them in 4 years.
Timeline.
I guess if you have unlimited slave labor.
Of Star Wars.
We were talking about this the last episode too.
We've been talking about Star Wars because it's just been like, every year.
Ubiquitous.
Ubiquitous. That's a good one. Indeed. Oh, you fucking cunt. So, this is what they do. They say it's 32, like, for instance, 32 BBY. So, 32 BBY is 32 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Okay. They pronounce it Yavin.
Yavin. I'm sorry, Yavin 4. So that's 32 years before Luke's birth. So that's the Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
And then 10 years later, 22 BBY is Attack of the Clones. And then the Clone Wars movie, so-and-so. So Clone Wars lasted from 22 to 19. So that's 3 years.
I also did just realize why everyone hates droids. Because they had a fucking intergalactic war with robots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So everyone fucking hates droids.
Oh, yeah.
I never put that together.
Oh, my God.
In the first fucking movie when he's like, we don't serve your kind here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because billions of people died at the hands of droids.
Mm-hmm.
During the Clone Wars.
So 19 years later, a Rogue One, a Star Wars story, A New Hope, and now here we go.
Which, by the way, Rogue One is the best Star Wars movie ever made.
You think so?
That's my favorite one. I can watch that movie.
That's so solid.
I can watch that movie once a week.
So,
paper towel.
So Empire Strikes Back is 3 years after. So 3 years.
Yeah, my favorites.
And then
my favorites.
It's 24 years. Luke was alive for 24 years.
Well, he was alive longer than that. But
yeah, but you know what I mean. So 24 years. So that would mean
24 years at the end of Jedi.
At the end of Jedi.
That's fucking crazy. He looked 39.
So in The Force Awakens, that's 30 years later, but I thought they said that 20 years had passed. $30 years, yeah.
No, I think it was 30 years.
I don't know. I thought
There's no way that he was supposed to be 50.
I know. That's why it fucked me up so bad. But in any case, yeah, some of the timeline stuff is a little funky. It's very tight, especially
I'm sure someone's
especially between the original and the prequels. Because Obi-Wan, I just watched, like I said, I watched A New Hope today.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan looks like he's in his 70s.
Yeah.
But he'd be
in his 50s.
50s, maybe 60?
Yeah.
If Obi-Wan was in his 20s,
so
in The Phantom Menace, hang on, so that's 32 years. So if he was, let's say, 21, he'd still be 53.
Okay, well, actually,
Obi-Wan was actually he was an older
McGregor,
apprentice, though, too.
Ewan McGregor was solidly in his 30s when The Phantom Menace came out. Ewan McGregor's like 15 years older than us.
And that's the other thing that people don't know is that Obi-Wan was actually old for a Padawan.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did know that.
He might be 25. So let's say he's 25.
Yeah.
It still puts him at 60.
But even then, old is
60-year-old Jedi?
Old is so relative, though.
I guess, but
he's a human.
He's a Jedi.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is he's a human, right? So for him to be too old to complete his training, they might mean, he's only going to live 100 years. He's already 18.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if it were whatever Yoda's race is, he's a fucking baby at 50 years old.
Right.
So I guess that could be explained away, but so he was okay, wait. Anakin was, let's say, how old? 10?
When?
In the
Phantom Menace?
Phantom Menace.
He's 9.
9. So saying he was too old, right?
They started training him at like 3.
Yeah, so
3,
4, 5 years old for a human.
Yeah.
But that's a human. That's a big distinction.
Yes.
So even if yeah, so Anakin was still a Padawan in the Phantom Menace, which is
he's 19.
19.
Or I'm sorry, in the Attack of the Clones, you mean?
Attack of the Clones.
19.
Yeah. 19.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So let's say that, but they also said that he was too young and not ready to begin the trials. So it might be
not
for a
that
human.
He was too young. He was just not ready.
But it might be that for a human,
it's a little
30,
too young.
35 years, maybe.
I don't know.
I would like to know how old Qui-Gon Jinn was when he entered the trials, because there aren't, aside from those few that we just mentioned, there aren't any other human Jedi that we really know about.
That's true.
What, 5? Maybe?
There's a lot, but I mean, not any. Actually, I'm trying to think.
I could think of Samuel L. Jackson, Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor.
And that's the thing, like they might be
Anakin Skywalker, whatever the fuck.
There's
his
also
name
such
was.
a thing as near human.
Yeah.
There's this Jedi called Quinlan Voss.
Mm-hmm.
He looks human. He's got like dreadlocks, kind of looks like Native American, but he's not human.
Yeah.
He's some motherfucker.
You see a lot of humans.
Mm-hmm. But they're not necessarily human. They're humanoid.
That's how many I could come up with. That's 5. Ever in the Star Wars canon. 5.
Trying to think.
Kylo Ren, 6. But he wasn't even a Jedi yet. That's another thing. It's I think in this universe, like, humans are pretty fucking frail.
Yeah, compared to everybody else.
Compared to everybody else, we don't live as long.
Yeah.
We can't lift heavy shit.
But like, is a Mandalorian a human?
No. A Mandalorian's a member of a religion. You'll have no idea what race they are because they'd never take their helmet off.
No, that's not true. They took their helmet off all the goddamn time.
It's just not supposed to be in front of
during
people.
Clone Wars and stuff. That's like,
yeah.
I think that's for like hyper. I think that's.
It's for like the super religious
I
ones.
don't know how they're going to explain it, but a lot of Mandalorians in the original, in the Clone Wars, took their helmets off all the time. Some didn't even wear helmets. They weren't like warriors. You know what I mean? But it also could be something that they're holding on to a little harder, only because their race has been practically wiped out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, did you watch the most recent Mandalorian?
The one with the guy from Breaking Bad?
Yes, Gus Fring.
Yes.
Gus Fring.
Yeah.
Gus Fring shows up to sell meth to everyone, and we all live happily ever after. Baby Yoda becomes the most powerful Jedi in the galaxy due to methamphetamine, blue methamphetamine.
Yes, I did.
He
watch
stepped out of the ship, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
He's great.
Fuck yeah, Gus, get it.
Did you want some more of this before I kill it?
No, you can finish. Go ahead, it's yours. I got some. I got a little Sky vodka and some seltzer here.
If you want to change gears, I watched Frozen.
Yeah, just harken back on last.
The only thing I want to talk about is when the whole place was frozen, and he's like, "There's warm glog inside."
Yeah. What are they heating it with?
That was all I could think about because we were talking about glug versus glog.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, Frozen knew. It's warm glog." It was stupid. I don't want to watch it.
I actually I talked to a couple people, people who know about singing and have like studied singing, and are currently still studying. I was like, hey, so Elsa, the Frozen girl, the blonde, the person who sings for her, and before I can say it, I get the eye roll. Multiple people have done the, and then they've said her name, and I go, okay. Is she yelling, or is she screaming? I don't totally know what I'm talking about, but I know what I'm hearing, and it sounds to me like she's not singing right. And they're like, yes, that is correct.
So this is, are we talking about Kristen Bell? Does she do the singing, or does
no?
she just
Kristen Bell plays the redhead.
Okay.
And I don't know if she does the singing or not. I'm talking about the blonde.
Okay.
She's singing in that big scene where she's making her castle, and I'm like, God.
Yeah, I actually didn't watch that scene.
Oh my God.
We were babysitting, and I was cooking, so I heard the movie, and then I sat down around the part with the glog, and then I got bored again, and I left.
Speaking of which, Frozen 2 has a 77% critic rating, certified fresh.
Sweet.
92% audience score. But here's the thing. You got to critique it for what it is.
Yeah, who's the audience? Is this like a 4-year-old logging onto a computer and just be like, I got to rate Frozen, guys?
Which is what I'm doing right now. I'm critiquing Frozen because a movie like Zootopia, I'd give that a 9. Why not? I thought it was a nice movie.
We were talking about How to Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon is a great fucking movie.
Great fucking movie.
Hilarious
I've watched
and
that
fun.
movie 10 times, and I watched the series.
Yep.
Series is great. They came out with a Christmas movie. I said, I'm done with this franchise. Never watching it. I'm never fucking watching it.
Who's
the guy that plays his dad?
I'm sure this chick can sing.
He's that guy from Olympus Has Fallen.
Ooh. Gerard Butler?
Gerard Butler plays his dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just like him as an actor. It's a good movie.
It's like me with Ryan Reynolds. Everybody gets on my ass about liking Ryan Reynolds.
I love Ryan Reynolds.
He's a handsome fella.
Yeah.
I think he's a good actor.
And he's hilarious.
I've seen him in a bunch of stuff, and he makes me laugh.
He makes fun of himself, too, which I really enjoy.
Yeah. So what's the big
fucking
deal?
Deadpool, when he had the little action figure that he had probably made by someone, like he had it commissioned from Wolverine X-Men Origins of his shitty character that he didn't want to play. He was like, oh, this thing sucks. Yeah. He's great.
People got a problem with him. I don't get it. They're jealous. That's what it is. They're jealous of his handsome face and his six-pack ass.
I just think it's hilarious how him, like, if you want to laugh one day, just Google him and his wife's Blake Lively. Is that her name?
Yeah, Blake Lively. Yeah.
Their banter back and forth on Twitter of just her calling him a complete piece of shit all the time is the funniest crap you'll ever imagine. It's so fucking
Cats opened strong with a 17% of rating.
Although I did hear that one of the main characters in Cats, they had to CGI out his dick.
Oh, why?
Like they were wearing,
it's so big?
Well, they were wearing leotards, and then it was like heavily. I mean, honestly, like heavily CGI'd over that. But they had to make his dick smaller.
CGI. Oh wait, hold on. Cats. CGI remove penis. Or
Yeah,
bulge.
Rogan
bulge
was talking about it.
Bulge. I want to know who. Derulo lamented that his Instagram famous bulge was no longer present in the movie version of Cats. They CGI'd the dick out. Jason Derulo.
Yep. Yeah, I guess he
he's
got
a big fella.
He got a picture removed from Twitter. And this is the funniest part. So he's wearing like tights, and he got his
Jesus.
Yeah, I haven't pulled up the picture yet, but
I did. Here you go.
He got his picture. Yeah. So this picture.
What the?
Wait. You want to hear a way funnier part?
What?
So this picture was removed from Twitter.
Uh-huh.
Right? They removed it.
Yeah.
They deleted it. And he re-uploaded it with a Subway sandwich over his penis.
Jesus Christ. It's like a cucumber in his fucking pants. I'm trying to check from a different angle here. Come on. All right. No. Now I gotta
here it
do
is.
some real digging.
So this is here. Give me. This is the picture that he re-uploaded. Come on. God damn it. Why is everything a PNG?
I don't know. It's your fault.
But this is the picture that he re-uploaded, and they left it up.
Holy shit, this fucking dude. Oh, he's got a cannon. Good for him. See, I'm looking at other pictures, and they're not as impressive. So I'm wondering if he's...
he's definitely...
I wonder if there's some shenanigans.
Yeah,
Nope.
He was definitely fluffing it up.
He hates wearing shirts. This guy fucking hates wearing shirts. Nah.
Well, I can guarantee that this is a movie I will never see.
I kind of want to watch it in like a Kung Fury kind of way.
A lot of quotes were Cats is the worst thing to ever happen since Cats. And I mean, like, would you ever want to see the original Cats?
I don't know. I literally know nothing about it, and it's just like if it's a musical
it's
with a bunch of people dressed up as cats. Okay, it's a little strange. Is it edgy? Is it got a message? Da, 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 da.
No.
If all the puzzle pieces fit together, then yeah, maybe I'll want to go see it.
It does. I think it's kind of like Les Mis just with cats.
I heard it was about there's an international competition for cats to perform in.
That's not what the original Cats was about.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, hold on. Let's look up the Cats plot. This is a hell of a fucking Christmas we're having. A hell of a moss we're having. Tribe of cats must decide yearly which one will ascend to the heaviside layer, and come back to a new life. The plot centers on
their version of heaven.
The Jellicles.
Jellicle Ball. The annual Jellicle Ball. Adopted from the Old Possum's Book of Practical.
Okay, so this is like a Mad Max kind of fucking thing where you got to figure out all the shit that they're talking about.
Yeah, I don't ever want to see this. Andrew Lloyd Webber, you piece of shit.
Excuse me. All right, here we go. Jellicles are a tribe of scruffy cats, a group inspired by T.S. Eliot's Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats, book of poetry, original published in 1939. Nocturnal by Jellicle nature, the Jellicle tribe meets once a year at the Jellicle Ball under the Jellicle moon. Jellicle. Okay. Oh, I get it.
It's ran for 21 years.
Apparently, it's a good fucking it's a good play. Like, it's a good musical. But I don't know. I don't know much about it. Like, I don't even know the music from it. Like, I know if you played me this music from the Phantom of the Opera, I'd know it. If you played me something from Sweeney Todd or Jesus Christ Superstar or fucking whatever, shit like that, Will Rogers Follies, I'd know the music from that. I don't know Cats. Like, there's nothing in my brain. It feels like Cats was this thing, like the movie.
It was that everyone in the 1990s went to New York City to see Cats.
Like,
I'm just gonna fucking play it. We're gonna get kicked off of YouTube.
Like
Fuck it.
Like Armageddon, the movie Armageddon.
Mhm.
Like, everybody saw it. Everybody still sees it, but it's not that good. I don't know.
So we're gonna get kicked off of YouTube for this, so we gotta just talk about it. But
Sure.
This is the invitation to the Jellicle Ball. This is taking too long.
Come to the Jellicle Ball.
Yeah, fuck this. I already hate this. I hate this so much.
I hate that.
Yeah, it sounds like a
whistle,
Christmas
pan
movie.
flute fucking thing.
Grisabella.
What's the cat? Lucifer?
I hate it. I hate it so much.
So, all right.
2 seconds in. What do you want to hear?
There's a cat called
Oh,
Lucifer.
Memory. That's the famous one. This is really gonna get us booted. This is like the famous song from the play. The only musical I like ever is Labyrinth. It's the only one. If you come back and you're just like, you know what, I watched Cats. It was actually really good.
Not the movie. I'll see the play. Like, I don't hate the music. Like, I think the melody and everything makes sense. And this drawn out part.
This is fine, but it's also the most famous song in the whole play. And there's how many fucking? There's like 20 tracks here.
Do another one. Just throw on another one. I want to know. Even if we're
Oh
getting
no,
kicked
wait.
off.
There's a bunch of like Memory, original London casting. Growl Tiger's Last Stand, the Ballad of Billy something something. Yeah, this is just never something I'd want to watch. I hate this. I hate it so much.
Yeah, it's that.
It's fucking terrible. We're never watching
Oh,
this.
it's weird. It's almost
I'm never watching this.
It sounds like Big Band.
Like,
it sounds
Sweeney Todd is so good that I don't hate it.
It sounds like Big
break
Band.
break down this statement. Sweeney Todd is so good that I don't hate it despite the music.
I
If
think
you
the
cut
music's great.
But if you cut all the music out, I'd like the movie better. If it was just dialogue and it just being a movie that was about those things, I would like it 100,000 times better.
It's one of those.
Right?
It's one of the few musicals that actually has a good beginning, a good end, a good middle.
It's just,
or I'm sorry, a good middle and a good end. Like, the whole thing wraps up, and you're like, huh, that wasn't weird at all.
Yeah, just okay. So just imagine like you're going through some stuff. Like you had a yard sale, right? You sold a bunch of shit, and then you're going through stuff that you're gonna throw in the garbage. I would like pick up the Sweeney Todd DVD, hold it above the garbage, and go, I might watch it again, and keep it. That's how much I like it. That I almost didn't throw it in the garbage. It's just a genre that I just don't understand. I just don't understand it at all. Like, why? Even Nightmare Before Christmas, I'm like, I'd like this better without the singing.
Musicals is it's interesting. Mike Bleakley was talking to me about the music in the new Star Wars movie and how it didn't quite set the tone he was hoping for. And I was watching The Witcher.
I haven't seen that.
I'm still kind of come see come saw about it. Like, it's I see where it's going. I like where it's going, but
Is this a show?
it's a show on Netflix. It's kind of like it's very much more magic-y than magic and whims. It's more Lord of the Rings, high fantasy kind of thing than Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And I was expecting it to be very...
It's like where there is magic, but it's really more just death and the plague kind of era.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is magic. Like creating invisible barriers and, catching lightning in a bottle and things like that.
Yeah, we tried to watch Carnival Row with Orlando Bloom.
Oh, boy. And you know what? It would have been fine if they got anybody but Orlando Bloom. The show would have been fine. The main character was such a bore, and he was so overacting. Anyway, The Witcher.
He's like, I used to be a fairy, too. I'm done with this show.
The music in The Witcher throws it. Like, it fucks it up a little bit. Like, they need something a little more morose, a little more grittier than some of the stuff they're playing. With that being said, some of the best sword fighting scenes I've ever seen. Like, really fucking, single shot.
I love that, man.
They do that Birdman thing where they, you could tell that it, there's this
it's
weird
supposed
kind
to
of,
look like a single shot, but it's not.
There's this weird out-of-focus moment when some action happens.
It's called a jump cut.
Yeah, this jump cut.
Yeah.
But the jump cuts are fucking nuts. Yeah. Like, he's, fighting this guy. It's one single cut. He, locks up their blades, and he stabs him in the fucking chest, and he pins him up against the wall, and it's one continuous fucking thing.
Yeah.
He pulls up the knife. He puts it through him. He sticks him to the wall, and he backs up, and the camera's backing up with him, and the guy's just sitting there stuck, this gaping wound, and just slowly dies against this wall. I'm like, fucking shit. There was a lot of camera work involved and CGI. There was a ton of shit involved in that little bit right there.
Yeah.
That makes it all the better.
Birdman did a really good job with that.
Unbelievable.
Because
I was
there was
stuck to the TV because of that movie.
When I watched it through the second time, I couldn't count more than 4 or 5 minutes that actually didn't have a cut.
Mm-hmm.
But once you realize that it was all supposed to look like one cut, you're like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
But they did a really good job. And involving the camera as a character in that movie, like during the fight scene with Ed Norton, and just it was almost like the cameraman fell over it a couple of points. You know what I mean? Where he was trying to follow the action. And doing that when you get that shaky, what's it called?
They did in Saving Private Ryan. That was the first major thing.
And that was shot on film too, so that was even harder.
Where the camera was following.
Yeah.
The character.
But
and
when you get that shaky,
that's a sensory.
Right now,
it's a sensory effect.
Right now, what the fuck is it
sensory
called?
Effect.
I'm totally blanking on it, and I hate myself as a pseudo filmmaker and a photographer. But when you have a digital camera, it doesn't have you have a frame rate, but it's not a piece of film flying past the lens. It's the pixels are doing this really, really fast, right? So you have this thing where if you pan too quickly, the walls look like they do this.
Yeah, they wiggle.
Yeah.
They wobble.
And if you don't have a high-quality camera, that's very obvious. But if you have a really high-quality camera, it's like bang, 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 bang. That refresh rate is much faster, so you don't have that wobble when you pan. So if you have camera shake with a high-quality camera, you can use that and that confusing moment and create a new one.
Yeah.
And then you could just go, okay, well, we had that, where the guy's shoulder actually hit the camera. Or Alfred Hitchcock used to use actors. He used to just follow them through a scene and just walk right into them. So they'd be moving. You ever seen Rope? It's a fantastic film that looks like one shot. The whole thing looks like one shot, but it's not.
That's a Chuck Palahniuk book, isn't it?
Yes, but I might be thinking of a different thing. The movie that I'm thinking of, maybe I have the name wrong, but the movie that I'm thinking of is basically about two guys that kill somebody, put them in a crate, and then have a dinner party.
And that's a Hitchcock?
Yes. Are you thinking of Choke?
I'm thinking of choke.
Yes.
Rope. You are correct.
Yes. So what they would do is he'd be panning through the room and then get like really close to curtains and kind of hit them. Or as somebody was walking down a hallway, he would just pan in real close to their black jacket.
Yeah.
And then that would give him a cut so that the person could walk now back out of the next reel and it would look like one continuous shot. He wanted to look like a play.
Mm-hmm.
That was what he put in.
Well, because it was based on a play.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he wanted it to feel like a live performance. And the whole time you're like, there's a dead guy right there in a crate. And I'm not giving anything away because that's the first shot of the movie is them killing this guy.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. So, and I think Birdman is...
It's probably where the inspiration
it's very,
came
very
from,
much like that. I love that movie. That's such an underrated movie.
It's funny because we got onto this camera effect thing from the music thing. Music. If the music sucks.
Oh, yeah.
If the music doesn't catch you, it's not gonna.
Oh, well, like Psycho would be a garbage movie if it wasn't for the score.
Exactly.
It would be a terrible movie.
But
it would not be good at all.
But here's the other thing: how do you get people? A musical has two things it's got to do. It's got to do a theater production, and it has to do a musical production. Now, music is tricky because you can tell people a story as a character, and they'll go with it. But you can play the music, and if it's not music that they like, or if it's not in a, in a chord progression that they enjoy, they're not going to like it.
No.
So that's the trick of the musical. That's why I have
just
kind
so
of a
few that I like.
That's why I have an appreciation for ones that are done well. Like Rocky Horror, all the music in that is fucking solid. It's not incredibly complex sounding to the, layperson. All the vocals and everything over top of all the music is out of control. But like Jesus Christ Superstar. Not a fan of the play itself. The music, though, was really good.
Yeah. So
it's very Beatles inspired, which
so
kind of like
here's the thing.
Tripped me up. But.
So I love Rocky Horror.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky Horror is my favorite musical by far because I think it's one of the only good ones. But it's also completely fucking ridiculous.
It's insane. It falls apart at the end.
Nothing
makes any sense.
It is just, it's not based in reality whatsoever.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if I were to watch How to Train Your Dragon, I could be like, there are dragons here, but I still can't believe anyone's breaking out into song right now. I just can't believe it. It's just fucking stupid.
That's the thing.
In Frozen, you just killed a bunch of people with a perpetual winter. Why are you singing about it? I just don't get it. I don't like it. I never liked it. I remember being a little fucking kid and being bored out of my mind and being like, time to go to the bathroom, watching The Little Mermaid as a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Just, under the sea? Good. I don't need to see this part. I don't care about this part at all.
Some people see. That's the thing. For me, the music doesn't take me out of it so much. It's just the technical aspect of things, like chord progressions and stuff.
That.
Like there's things in Sweeney Todd, like the way certain lines are sung over the music. That I'm like, it bothers me because it doesn't sing syllabically. Is that a word?
Well, you're
with
also
the music
with those movies. You're also dealing with actors that are not professional singers.
Oh no, I'm
They're
talking about
actors
that. I'm
first.
talking about actual stage performances. I've watched.
Okay.
I haven't been 2 stage performances, but I watch them a lot on YouTube. Like Rocky.
I got a DVD of Matthew and Sweeney Todd.
Rocky, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
he was like a
side character.
More.
Oh
of a
no.
bit part,
He
yeah.
was the kid.
I don't know who he was.
God damn it! The fucking blonde little the little shit. What's his fucking name?
It was a good production.
I see you, Johanna.
I don't know. I have it.
Yeah,
on DVD.
I can't remember his goddamn name.
Yeah.
Anyway, but where was I going with that? I've seen stage productions of Rocky Horror. Like There's the Rocky Horror we know, and then the stage productions that happen all year round, all across the world that people do. 50s.
Yeah, they change
50s like
shit.
doo-wop, 70s punk, whatever the hell, 90s grunge.
That'd be cool. Just change the ending.
But here's the thing.
I hate the ending so much. It's so stupid.
I know. It's just weird. I don't know. I just have appreciation for putting together a story and music on top of one another. If you get close, I'm like, all right, you got it. It's tough.
Well, like
Pink Floyd, The Wall. Everybody's like, oh, The Wall. It's a fucking play.
Mm-hmm.
It's a musical.
Although that being said, fucking heavy metal. I fucking loved heavy metal. That's a musical. It just happens to be an American anime.
Yeah, Tommy.
Yeah,
that's a play too.
I don't really like Tommy.
Another example of like just
great.
Off the
I'll listen
cliff.
to the fucking album all day long. I'm not fucking watching that bullshit ever again.
And then you're like,
so the
Fiddle About comes on, and you're like, wait, where are we?
One example.
Where are we in the story? What happened?
One example, and I haven't seen it. I haven't watched the movie, but people are touting this La La Land. Won Oscars for cinematography, for a whole bunch of shit. It won a bunch of Oscars.
I know nothing about
Emma
it.
Stone is an Oscar-winning actress at like 23 because of this movie. But it's a musical. I don't give a shit about this. But it was touted as one of the most amazing works of cinematography ever. So I want to see it, but I don't want to sit through it. And the funny fucking thing is, like, I see like little clips because I follow a lot of videographers and stuff like that on Instagram. So Instagram like knows they're in my brain, and they're playing like shot versus reality. And there's a scene, I guess, at the end of the movie where Emma Stone is dancing and Ryan Gosling's playing the guitar like a motherfucker, probably faking it, but he's all the way up here on a stage and she's down here dancing, and they had to use a film camera shooting at, I think, 220 frames per second because the guy was panning so fast, and it was her, him. And this guy is swinging around this 80-pound camera as fast as he fucking can between the two of them, and the shot is amazing. And I'm still like, I kind of don't want to watch that movie. Because it's a musical. It's an amazing shot. I'm sure I could pull it up. But
but that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, certain things in, like, as simple as this Netflix show, The Witcher, that just is like, it's a Dungeons and Dragons fucking story. That's all. If you like Lord of the Rings, you'll like The Witcher. But the music kind of like fucked me up a little bit.
It takes me out of it so bad.
But yeah, musicals, I give them a little.
Look, I fucking found it immediately.
If the storyline kind of like falls apart, it's annoying. But I let it just whatever, because that shit's difficult, man. Making a rock opera, it's not easy. If you want to fuck around and be a goofball about it, sure. I'm talking about you, Jack Black. Pick a Destiny, the greatest movie ever made. And I'm not joking.
Yeah, so this is the
shit.
reality, and that's the shot. Look at the size of that fucking camera.
Holy shit.
And he's shooting on film right there.
And he's got his assistant tapping him on the shoulder.
Yeah, when to move.
Yeah, when to move.
And then he moves away on a dolly. That's the best shot. That is the best shot in filmmaking that I think I've ever seen, really. And we can't play the audio, but just Google La La Land whip scene. It's fucking fantastic. And the director is telling this guy when to tap him on the shoulder.
Jesus Christ.
And now let's just real quick think about the fact that he's shooting on film. He's not able to make any changes. He's whipping back and forth 6 times between 2 actors. How hard do you think it was to light that?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many things.
So that makes me want to see this movie, but then also I'm like, I don't want to sit through a musical with Ryan Gosling and his weird head and Emma Stone. I just don't want to do that.
At least it's not Tom Cruise and his
weird teeth. It is funny that people just gravitate to beautiful people that are like, that guy looks kind of weird, and I don't know why. Ryan Gosling looks like a giant muscly baby, and that was Peter Griffin on Family Guy said that, and I was like, you know what, he does. And then Sylvester Stallone, they were talking about him on Rogan's podcast. And I saw a meme like not too long ago that it turns out that the reason that he's all like is because he was pulled out with 2 sets of forceps from his mother's vagina.
Oh,
yeah, that's why his face is partially paralyzed.
Oh,
yeah, and that guy was like the most ripped person in the world playing Rambo.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That was new.
Yeah,
That's
He's
new.
like, that's why.
I'm trying to think because like Brooke doesn't like. I just go by who Brooke likes.
Yeah,
guys who Brooke likes, and she likes the dude from.
Well, probably at least Jason Momoa, right? Every girl likes that guy.
You can't not. How can you not like him? She thinks Ryan Gosling's eyes
another
are
thing
too
that I
close
just
together.
heard about Jason Momoa is like the scar that's on his head. That's from an actual bar fight. Yeah,
yeah,
that guy's awesome.
Yeah, he's the fucking man.
He's an Adonis.
She likes Viggo Mortensen.
I could see that.
And as Aragorn, but not as the guy in like Eastern Promises, or
you see, if I were a chick, I'd be going for the guy from Eastern Promises. I'd be like, that guy's not going to let anybody touch me. Well, the guy from History of Violence murdered his family after the credits rolled, I think. Just saying. I think that's how that movie ended. He's like, well, they know, so I guess they can't live. I'll just move to another Midwestern state and start a new family. History.
A lot of shit going on.
If you folks have not seen A History of Violence,
coffee now. God damn it!
That movie's fucking crazy.
Who else? She likes the guy who played Quicksilver in X-Men.
Days of Future Past.
Yes, that Quicksilver.
That loser? She likes that guy? He's like the wussiest character in American Horror Story.
He was in Asylum, right?
He's in all of them.
He's in all of them.
I mean, that's where he had like a major role, but yeah.
And then
he's kind of.
I was like, really? Him?
He's kind of
like. Well,
so for me, he's kind of like
on.
the emo guy in high school that crosses his legs and explains to you why Mein Kampf is an interesting book to read.
This is gonna sound bad, but she kind of like cocked her head to the side when I was just like, him? She's like, yeah, and she cocked herself head to the side. She's like, yeah, and I'm like, well, what's up? And she was just like, well, he's in good shape. He's like, blah blah. In all honesty, he kind of looks like you.
Yeah,
and I was just like,
creep.
Get the fuck out of here. And then
I can see that. It's a lot of it, especially in that movie.
Like a blonde version of me.
It's the
like,
hair.
Oh,
if you grew your hair back out, but had like whiter hair.
When he was getting electroshock therapy in Asylum,
I don't really remember, but
there was this scene where he was getting electroshock therapy, and he was making this like.
I just think about him with the crab hands and fucking
in Carnival.
He's not attractive. He's not an attractive man. He had crab hands.
And he goes, he's getting electroshock therapy, and he goes, and we're watching the show, and Brooke says to me, she goes, "That's the face you make," and I went, "Wait, Jesus, really?" And she's like, "Pretty much," and I was like, "Oh God, damn it! All right." So there you go.
I mean, I could see it now.
What actors do you like? Like men. Like good-looking men. I know Vigo was one of them. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
You know why? It's because he's
She's
old.
like, I watched The Road, and he just didn't look good. He didn't look good. He ate that bug.
As Aragorn. Help me out. Chris Pratt in the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
When he lost all the weight and he was still funny.
Yeah, and he didn't have a porn stash. What the fuck was that
that was
about?
stupid.
Yeah.
I do love that they even told him who the hell was it? That direct
James Gunn.
Yeah, James Gunn directed the first one, and he was like, "You're my choice. I want you in this movie. I've already told the casting director, like, that's what's happening unless something goes crazy." And he was like, "I would love it if you lost the weight and got in shape, but that doesn't matter. We will CGI. It's not a problem." And he was like, "I guess I'll lose the weight." And he did it. And now he's fucking jacked. And he's the lead man in Jurassic Park movies. And then you don't watch Parks and Recreation, but
I do not.
So
I've seen clips.
Well, but there's
He's
a couple of
funny.
there's a couple of interesting ones. Like they were on hiatus for 4 months or whatever, 5 months. In the off season, they came back to film, and they wrote him out of the show. Like he got some job in London or something, which was weird. But they wrote him out of the show to do Guardians, right? And when he came back, they filmed an episode that actually took place at the season finale.
Yeah.
So they filmed kind of the season finale after the hiatus. So he lost like 60, 70 pounds.
Yeah, I know.
And he's all jacked. And they were like, "You look great, Andy." And he's like, "Yeah, I quit drinking beer for like 3 weeks. I lost 60 pounds.
Nice and easy.
Yeah. So that was a nice way to address it. And there was one episode where he was that? No, he might have sent out like a tweet or something where he's just like, "I got to take this. This is Steven Spielberg asking me to be in Jurassic Park 5 or whatever." And then he was several years later.
Well.
But yeah, Chris Pratt's great.
Have
and
you
I
seen
especially
Fallen Kingdom?
Yeah.
Any good?
It was pretty good. Yeah. It was more like a setup movie for what it's going to be like.
Oh.
Dinosaurs are just loose now. Spoiler alert.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, it was cool. It was pretty neat.
I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah, the premise of it's a little shaky at first, but it gets good. And they just like forget about stuff, which drives me crazy. It's like, well, wait, what's happening on the?
God damn it! Do your research. Here's the fucking thing.
So, yeah,
like this is so dumb. It's gonna make me sound like
it's the worst Christmas episode of any show ever.
It doesn't make sense. This is not a Christmas episode. This doesn't make any. This is gonna make me sound insane, but when I make a character for D&D,
you do your research.
I actually fucking do the research on the race and all this shit, so I have a fucking idea.
Because you care, and there's only one person involved in your creative process.
And
that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, okay, I research all this stuff so I don't fuck up the storyline for this game I play with my friends.
Yeah, with like 6 people.
That doesn't make that's never gonna get made into a movie.
Because the worst thing that could ever happen to you sitting at this table doing your D&D podcast is to have somebody go like, "Wait, what about the?"
Yeah,
right? Like you'd be like, "Fuck, god damn it!"
Yeah, I made that mistake.
Yeah.
I made that mistake. I metagamed is what I mean. Like as a player, you know something, but as your character.
You don't.
You don't?
That makes sense.
That flip-flopped. I fucked it up. It was a minor thing, but it bothered me for weeks.
I could just see Matthew doing exactly like, "Wait, Ryan."
He didn't even notice it. It's just like this silent thing Julia and I have. I was just like, I wasn't supposed to know that.
She's like texting you.
She's like, did you know that?
Okay,
Like, I don't.
so but no, that for me,
But
that's
what I'm
but
saying
that's
is
important.
Like,
That's
me, my
important for
dumb
this
ass
stuff.
in my fucking basement playing
Yeah.
a game with my friends has the wherewithal to look into the storyline that has been laid before me.
Yeah.
To build on.
And that's the thing that I've always said about sci-fi fantasy stuff. Just, yeah, of course it's fucking made up, but can you just
be a fan?
Yeah. Game of Thrones is a perfect example. Dragons don't exist. They don't exist in our reality.
Mm-hmm.
Every single moment on that show, I was like, that dragon looks like it could fly physically.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it would work.
They did a great job.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. Oh, what the fuck point was I going to make? I don't remember.
do your research. We were talking
Yeah.
about. But like,
that's the thing that takes me out of stuff is when I'm just like,
you don't
that
even have to
doesn't
read
look like it would fucking work.
You don't even have to read the fucking books. You just got to watch the movies.
Yeah.
You have to be a fan of Jurassic Park. That's all. I'm
Yeah,
not
maybe
even
I
a
was-
huge fan of Jurassic Park, but I could probably pick out some shit that doesn't like add up if it crops up. You know?
Yeah.
It just I don't know.
Well,
it seems silly.
Unfortunately, now it's because we know that dinosaurs had feathers.
The amount. Oh,
yeah.
They really do now. Did you hear
Yeah,
about that
almost-
fossil that they uncovered?
Almost all of them had feathers.
They uncovered an amber a fossil encased in amber, and it actually had feathers.
Yeah, most of them did.
Yeah.
So like the I don't want to go down a
This
crazy.
is a very small dinosaur, though. It was
so
only like
well, I don't want to go down a crazy rabbit hole, but the newest theory is that most bird-hipped dinosaurs, so Tyrannosaurus Rex, Velociraptor, all the bipedal dinosaurs, they think almost all of them had feathers. To a certain degree, they weren't really feathers; they were more like quills.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was to keep them warm and for like kind of keeping them quiet. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So they
'Cause,
could
like, the
run
more-
quickly and
You notice when it
yeah.
snows,
Yeah.
it gets quieter. It's
Yeah.
because the noise is like bouncing off the snowflakes and dissipating.
Yeah, so a lot of that turned in like, I mean, seriously, almost imagine an ostrich. That's kind of what most of them look like, just with fucking teeth and claws and shit. But then a lot of the quadruped dinosaurs with lizard hips, they called it,
So,
where their
like Stegosaurus
hips
and,
faced outwards
yeah.
instead of backwards. So ours, like our shoulders, would be bird hipped.
But
Right.
our knees are.
But our
lizard
no,
hipped.
not even that. Our hips are
Or-
lizard or would be lizard hipped.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of imagine like this.
Yeah, you well.
Imagine
like,
a dog's leg. Imagine a dog's leg. That's what a dinosaur's rear legs looked like. But like a sauropod type dinosaur, they were more like this. They faced out.
Duck-footed?
They
Oh,
faced
okay,
out
yeah.
instead of back. Which was much less efficient, but they didn't need to be efficient because they were 1 billion fucking pounds.
Yeah.
So nothing could touch them. So the carnivorous dinosaurs, the smaller dinosaurs, evolved to be faster and hunt in packs so they could kill larger animals. And then when all the big dinosaurs died, they turned into birds. Yeah.
It's fucking neat.
But also, I mean, if you take a fucking pigeon, a pigeon is not going to fly until it goddamn has to. It's a waste of calories.
Mhm.
So if you take a pigeon and you give it an avenue, like a stick to get away from you, and you clap at it, like really scare the shit out of it, it's going to run up that ramp instead of flying away. But as soon as you take that ramp and you make it to the point where it's too steep for it to run, it'll start to fly.
Mhm.
And that's how dinosaurs evolved to fly.
Huh.
Smaller dinosaurs, they had feathers already to keep warm and for whatever other reasons. And then
so
the
interesting.
ones that had bigger feathers were able to flap their wings and get up a incline faster. So, I mean, we're talking like all birds evolved from dinosaurs that were less than 2 ounces. Very, very small.
Oh yeah, and that was the thing. The one that was encased in amber, they said it was as big as it's as big as a rat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, whereas they did just on this is such a weird show. They just uncovered.
It's gone all over the place.
It was an armored dinosaur. The one that you usually see is an ankylosaur, the big club on the end of its tail.
Yeah.
It was one in that kind of family. I can't remember the exact name, but it's like a dinosaur mummy, so they know exactly what it looked like. And that thing was fucking armored. It looked like a dinosaur. It's exactly what you'd expect. But then all of the bipedal ones, and they're even thinking Tyrannosaurus Rex, like large bipedal dinosaurs, were just covered in. They're feathers, but they're primitive. They look like quills. They're about that long.
Mm-hmm.
Hollow tube with a point at the end. And then the smaller they got, the fluffier they were. So, it's just weird.
Holy shit.
All right, I have to pee, and we've done like 2 hours. So.
Yes, we have. So
why don't we ever take a break when it's just us? I have to pee so bad.
I don't know, but it's 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's what's happening.
Yeah. This is the weirdest Christmas episode ever.
Ever.
All right, so we're calling this...
This is the Dead Radio podcast, the Moss Spectacular 5, Return to the Blue Lagoon.
I think it's pretty good.
Last year was... Dude, this is like 5. This is 5 years.
Yeah. And that means we've been doing this for 6, because we didn't do one the first year.
No. We did... yeah, we did. We did a Moss Spectacular. We started...
Oh, yeah.
If I remember correctly, we started around February, March.
Oh, okay.
And then we did a Moss Spectacular. So, like, these are, like, the nice, like... These are the markers of how long we've been doing this.
So it'll be like 6 years
5 years.
In February.
5
No,
years.
but it'd be 6 years in February, wouldn't it?
5 years in February. Wait,
Okay.
no.
No, it'd be 5. It'd be 6 years in February if we started in February.
Oh, Christ, yeah.
All right. Well, I reached out to about 35 people today, so we should have some guests coming on soon. Yeah. So that's that.
That's it. That's the Moss Spectacular. I got rid of the Old Granddad, the Sky Vodka, and the E&J brandy. So I did some work.
Yeah, I drank all of the...
You just drank all the shit you bought.
Yeah. Drank the Nog and the Sangria.
All right. Well, next week, 30th?
Next week is the 4th.
No, it's not. It's the 30th.
Is that the 30th?
It is.
Oh, I thought my birthday was on a Tuesday. I don't know.
Dicembre. Oh, yeah, your birthday's coming up. I forget about that.
Yeah.
Your
So we'll figure it out.
Your birthday soon. Very soon. So, all right, we'll figure it out. Like we always do.
Yeah, so next week's the 30th. So maybe we'll do a New Year's Spectacular. If we can get somebody in.
See what happens.
All right,
Yeah.